What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Ooh. Hope everybody's having a good time today. Let's limit it to 4. Let's limit it to 3. All right. Sorry, you might hear something funny real quick. I don't even know if it's going to play through this or not. Hold on. It might play through this. That was kind of funny. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'll be watching the draft later. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be watching the draft later. I don't even remember what pick the Chargers have right now. I think it's like 20, 22, 24, something like that. I don't know. So I got time tonight. Let's just say we won't be picking until the last like hour and a half. So I'm not super worried about it. But I figured, hey, there's a good time to get on early. If anybody wants to watch Mendoza go, they can, just leave early, I guess. If everybody wants to watch the Raiders do exactly what the Raiders are going to do, then, then you guys can go do that. Sounds exhilarating. Yeah, you'll get to watch Mendoza go exactly where Mendoza's going, and then you'll get to watch like 4 offensive or defensive linemen that you've never heard of go, and then, eventually there'll be like one splash player an hour in, That's about it. But I mean, hey, if that's what you're into, then who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're into, who am I to judge? I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be fun. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. Hey, while I just have a few of you in here, remember, I am still looking for people to help me screen calls. So if you are somebody who would like to help me do that, man, would love to have you. Would love to have you. Cowboys will draft a. Oh, well, I guess Corey. I guess that's probably why you're more concerned about the draft, because Cowboys have such an early pick. I'm assuming. Being asked does have its advantages, being asked does have its advantages. $12 and $20. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll screen calls and keep the trolls out. Kings, are you in my Discord? Juliet says, "Are you now on at 4 East?" Well, this is 4 Pacific, or 4 Pacific, 4 Central, not 4 Eastern. But I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be on at 5 or 4. I was definitely going to be on at 4 on. The goal is to be on 4 on Wednesdays and Fridays. Cause Kings, it's in my Discord. You have to be in my server so you can talk to me. So I was gonna be on 4 on Wednesdays so I could get on early for tennis, and I was gonna be on 4 on Fridays so everyone could start their weekend early. But if it starts going well at 4 Central, which would be 5 Eastern, then I will keep going just at this time all week. I definitely prefer this time. Yeah, I definitely prefer this time. So we'll see. Sister Mary, yeah, like I said, I already put the crash course. The crash course is in my Discord, and there's a whole channel for it. And I'm looking for, I need like at least like 12 people. So, yeah, if you guys would like to, please in my Discord say you'd like to help screen. Kings, it's in my link tree. If you go into my bio, it's in my link tree. But I'm sure, do I have any mods? I'm sure I have mods over on that side someplace. If not, I need more mods over on that side. But yeah, if you join my Discord, like it's in my link tree and you can do it. Hopefully, maybe one of my mods can post the link tree or post the link into the chat there. Yeah. It's not difficult. It's really not. But I am looking to get a huge, a good like 12 people in there. That way, we just have a huge group that can do it. Tor, thank you so much for the sheep too. If you're in there, you're already in my Discord, aren't you? I think you're already in my Discord. I have to check. What is it? Oh, you are. There you go. I just added you in, Sister Mary. I added you into the channel that I gave you the role in the channel so you can see it. I'm your favorite show? Well, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. I do appreciate that. Isn't it crazy that it's totally okay for seats being shifted around, but not when it's voted for? I don't know if I 100% understand what you're saying. I'm doing well. Michelle or Mikkel? I don't know. Whoever keeps telling me I'm handsome is getting a lot of brownie points, by the way. Someone in here keeps telling me I'm handsome, so that makes me happy. How was tennis yesterday? Tennis actually ended up getting canceled. Funny enough, I literally as soon as I got offline and I took 2 steps downstairs, they were like, I don't think we're going to be able to play today. You can come down, but I'm not sure. And I was like, all right. So then I was like, I'll go down there. And so I went down there, and then we sat around for half an hour and didn't play, or 40 minutes and didn't even play. So it was pretty lame. It was pretty lame. So I got a pretty mouth. You're damn right I do. Damn right I do. Entity, what's your name over there? What's your name over there? If you're already in there, just send me your name for that, and I'll search it real quick and put you in. Trump wants to invite Putin to Miami. Is that where Trump's going to learn all of his Spanish that he keeps talking about? So he's going to become the president of Venezuela? He keeps saying he's going to become he said he's going to become the president of Venezuela. So maybe he's going down there to practice his Spanish. Maybe I don't. Oh, it's the G20 summit. He's inviting him to the G20. That's interesting. That's actually very interesting. Does it say Iris on there, by the way? Sorry, I'm confused. Was ousting Maduro not a good move? I mean, it depends on what, definition you give of a good move. Maybe the president of Puerto Rico can teach him Spanish? Maybe. All right, you have the role now. Yeah, maybe the president of Spanish can maybe the president of Spanish can teach him Spanish. Maybe the president of Spanish can teach him Venezuela. or Puerto Rico. Yeah, maybe the president of Spanish can teach him Puerto Rico. Maybe. Who knows? Lindy, are you in the Discord? If you aren't, to me, just send over your name and I'll add you in there. Thank you so much, whoever sent that. Sorry, I missed it. Big T, thank you so much for the sheep leap. I appreciate that. And thank you, Loch Ness, for the Sunday. Objectively, I think it was a pretty good move. Why don't you think it was? It was just a move. Like, I mean, it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. Like, it's taking out Maduro is an objectively good thing if you're totally okay with doing things that don't do anything. I think that's the biggest problem that, like, I keep constantly seeing with, like, with Trump supporters. Isn't that gift cute, by the way? It's, like, so adorable. It's just like everybody keeps trying to give him more credit for this thing than it is. It's like, oh, is Maduro gone? Yeah, sure. But everybody's like, oh, it stopped BRICS nations from doing everything and it kicked out. No, it didn't. It didn't do any of that fucking shit. Venezuela's oil was negligible. It's not like they were moving in, like we're having another, another Cuban Missile Crisis. It didn't do anything. They took the Maduro out to put in the vice president that's the same regime as the previous president for the same exact deal that friggin' Maduro was going to give him. It did fucking nothing. There was one reason and one reason only why we went to Venezuela. And that's so we had the ability to cut off oil to Cuba. That's it. That's the only reason. If that excites you, right? If you're excited about Venezuela cutting off oil to Cuba, which was the only reason that he did it, okay? Only one reason. That's it. Okay? If you're just like really cool with Venezuela cutting off freaking oil to Cuba and power to Cuba, which has literally caused a humanitarian crisis all right, which has literally caused a humanitarian crisis in Cuba, then congratulations. That's the only reason. And if you think anything other, you're being freaking manipulated by the media, okay, to try to give Donald Trump credit for fucking nothing. Okay? It's just Marco Rubio pulling the strings, okay? First of all, let's be very clear. Donald Trump couldn't point out Venezuela on a fucking map, and that's if the names of the countries were written on the map. Okay? He couldn't pick out Venezuela on a map if all the names of the countries were written on it in bold lettering. Okay? Like he couldn't. So this is not some 4D chess thing, dude, or some 5D chess or whatever you guys want to give him credit for. It's none of that stuff. Okay? It is literally, okay? It is literally just them cutting it off, like that's all it is. He's cutting it off. That's it. Because Marco Rubio has been insanely vocal, like forever. All right, has been insanely vocal, like forever, about doing this to Cuba. He's been so insanely like vocal about it. Here's how you know if Donald Trump is doing some like 4D chess thing. If you never heard him talk about that country at all during like when he was campaigning, then he doesn't know and doesn't care. Yo, hit that like button, please. I appreciate you guys. I don't know how we're not at 5,000 likes, so I can't even bring up a guest yet. If you never heard Donald Trump talk about that country during his campaign, then Donald Trump does not know and does not care about that country. It's literally the most simple thing ever. All right? Everything else is people trying to assign credit to Donald Trump that he doesn't deserve. Everything else is literally him trying to assign credit to Donald Trump that he doesn't deserve. And that's what you guys do with everything. That's what you guys do with everything. Every single thing that Donald Trump does, you guys try to find, right? You guys try to find some other thing. They're like, oh, he must be doing this. He must be doing that. Oh, there's this crazy other ulterior motive. The man is shitting himself and falling asleep on camera. Okay? There aren't ulterior motives for the things that he does, okay? There isn't this like, there isn't these ulterior motives. Like he's not like, oh, he's this huge. Oh, he's not. He's a fucking idiot, dude. He's a fucking moron. All right. I wish that we actually had a press corps. I wish that we actually had a press corps in the White House that was actually able to actually give Donald Trump actual real questions. Like I would just love for like someone to just ask him like, explain to me what the BRICS nations are. Like explain to me what the BRICS nations are. Like I'd love for him to just explain that to me. Because he can't. He doesn't know what they are. All he would do if somebody would be like, if someone was like, what are the BRICS nations? He'd be like, who are you from? What oh, I'm from AP News. Like, oh, the failing AP News. Nobody even likes you. You know your entire news agency is going away. That's what he does every single time he's asked any type of question that he doesn't know. Any type of questions that he doesn't know, he just attacks whatever the news agency is that he's talking to, and then just goes off on a completely different thing that has nothing to do with anything. So you're like, oh, he's doing it because of BRICS. He doesn't know what BRICS is, dude. He doesn't. He has no fucking clue what BRICS is. Okay? He has no fucking clue. The only reason that he knows where China is because of the business aspect, right? Because of all the billionaire businessmen there that whose pocket he's in, right? So he knows who they are. But besides that, he doesn't know who any of these motherfuckers are, bro. He doesn't know this shit. You guys are fucking funny. You guys literally voted in someone who talks at a 4th grade level. And you're like, oh, he's doing this to reorganize bricks. Like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? You guys are dumb, dude. Here's the sad part about it. All you guys that are in here are like, oh, the BRICS nations and all that sort of stuff, right? All you guys that are doing that are all smarter than Donald Trump is. Every single one of you. Yeah, every single one of you guys that like are explaining like BRICS nations and all that sort of stuff, every single one of y'all are actually smarter than Donald Trump is on all these subjects. That's the sad part. Like all of you guys who like failed your middle school civics classes. All you guys that failed like your middle school civics classes, all of you guys, every single one of you guys is smarter than Donald Trump. Anyways, all right, we're about to take the first caller. Sorry, I was hoping that somebody would come in to start screening calls first. But that's okay. That's why I need more. I need more of you guys to help me out. That's why I'm doing that. But give me 1 second, and we'll take our first caller. Okay, un momento. All right, let's get this thing started. Sorry about that. Oh no, I'm sorry. You guys are fine. You had to wait like 2 seconds. Oh, you're all good. Like I said, I'm not mad that anybody can't help me out right now. I'm just saying I got to get enough people where we don't have that problem later. That's all. You know what I'm saying? We just got to get enough people where we don't run into that problem. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I think that's valid. Ari, please. There's like a bunch of people in there already. That's okay. We're just gonna take one and see what happens. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Awesome. How old are you?
My age is of no concern to nobody.
All right. Bye-bye then. See, and that's why I need people to screen calls so we don't end up with those guys. We could have gotten rid of that guy well prior. Guys, if you guys can help, you guys have to join my Discord. That's it. You just have to join my Discord. But I can't keep talking about it because TikTok's getting mad because I'm asking you guys to go there. So, yeah. It literally has me under a restriction right now because I'm asking you guys to go there to help me out so I can make the show better, but it's tripping out. It's TikTok is like a little jealous bitch. You know that? TikTok is like a little jealous bitch. Like anytime you mention anyone else, anytime you mention anyone, it goes like, "Oh my god, you talked about someone else?" Like TikTok is literally like a toxic girlfriend. Like, that's how they are. Like literally, I'm under restriction right now because it's like, oh, you directed someplace to somebody else. Like it's what? I'm under one right now. TikTok, you a whole bitch, by the way. TikTok and Ari are both jealous. Or TikTok and Ari, not even Ari. Ari's in there freaking extra screen calls. TikTok and Erica are the same people. They are, dude. I'm telling you. Lindy said she can screen now. She said, where? It really is. Ari's in there screening right now. That's okay. We got people in there. We're just waiting for her to screen. Yeah, we gotta. Oh, we don't have to yet. I'm not kicked off. I'm just. Oh goodness. All right, we're gonna bring up our caller. Jesus.
What up, bro?
Yo.
What's going on?
Why are you? What is wrong with your? Why are you? Can you take the phone out of your mouth?
It's not in my mouth.
It sounds like it is.
Still?
Yeah, you're just like. It sounds like you're eating the microphone.
I'm not.
All right. Oh, see, that's better. That sounds like you're a human being.
But in any case,
No, not but in
yeah,
any case. No, not but in any case.
But in any case, what do you think about the
No,
I already told
I'm about to
the
drop you
scanner
if
my
you say
age.
one more word.
Are you
Perfect.
scared?
Yes, I'm serious. Let me finish what I was trying to say. I'm not going to start out this conversation with me not even being able to speak with you, just trying to go freaking nuts, swallowing freaking microphones, doing all that stuff. It's strange, okay? So just calm down,
Oh,
bud.
chill, dude. Chill.
That's what I'm
dude.
telling you to do.
I'm having a blast here.
Good. I'm glad you're having a blast. Okay. So how old are you?
I'm 20.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that checks. Anyways, do you still support Trump?
That checks out, right? I do support Trump over Kamala.
I didn't ask you if you supported him over Kamala. Did I say anything about Kamala Harris?
Well,
Why do
that
you
is the
guys have
case.
Kamala?
That is the
Why
case.
do you guys have Kamala Harris derangement syndrome?
You have Trump derangement syndrome.
No, you have Kamala
But in
Harris
any
derangement
case,
syndrome. I didn't mention. I said, do you still support Trump? And you're like, Kamala Harris. Like, dude, she hasn't been politically
Yeah,
relevant.
she was
fucking...
the other option. There's only
no.
Dude,
There is no other option right now. Donald Trump has
There's
been
3
president.
options.
No,
Trump,
there's not.
Kamala or no
There's
vote.
0 options.
Don't
Donald
be
Trump
scared.
is
Don't
the
run.
president.
Don't run.
Donald
Don't
Trump
run.
has been the president for 15 months. Who is the other option besides the president who's already been elected?
Well, the midterms are coming up.
No.
so there's
I
probably
didn't
gonna be
ask. Is
some
Kamala
other
Harris
electorate.
running in the midterms?
Are you an idiot?
No, but it sounds like I'm talking to one.
Oh, bro, that was such a good roast. Said no one ever.
All
But
right.
in
Well,
any case,
I think I'll just
what do
move
you
on
think
to the
about the
next
great
person.
replacement theory? What do
I
you
think
think
I'll
about
just
the
move
great
on to the next
replacement?
person, sir, because this is literally a waste of time. So have a wonderful
Okay,
day.
let's have a debate. Come on.
No,
Come on, let's have a debate,
I gave
okay?
you 3 chances and you ruined all of them.
All right.
Go away.
I support Trump.
I don't care. Anyways, I gave you 3 chances to just have a conversation with me, and you chose not to. Not really a big deal. All right. But no, I'm not really interested in in just not really interested in just having a screaming contest with a 20-year-old. Doesn't seem like it matters. Oh yeah, that's a screen. Guys, just because we have screen calls doesn't mean that they're all going to be winners. Okay. Just because it's a screened call doesn't mean that they're all going to be winners. Loch Ness, thank you so much for the Sunday. I appreciate it. Vicky, thank you so much for the jewels. Scott, thank you so much for the $2. Says Trump's physical is scheduled for April 31st, 2026. His physical? Well, first of all, Donald Trump is 6'4", 175 pounds with 3% body fat. Thank you so much, Big T. Thank you so much. So I'm sure he'll be able to pass his physical very, very easily. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be able to pass it really easy. I mean, he's just the epitome. Oh yeah, it's 31st of April. Yeah, I forgot. There's only 30 days in April. See, I'm not even thinking. But I'm sure he'll pass anyway. He'll do great. So I said you should ask younger trumpets how parents vote. Why? No, it's on April 31st, guys. It'll also be the first time he actually does anything worth a shit. That was like did you guys ever watch Parks and Rec where she was like she scheduled all of his appointments for which day? He scheduled all of her appointments for like all of his appointments for like one day of the year or whatever because she thought it didn't exist. Anyways, hello, how are you?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. What's your name?
We had a absolutely fantastic conversation last night before you got off.
I doubt that.
Oh, it was great. It was actually one of the best conversations I'm sure you've ever had in your life.
Doubtful, because I didn't have one of the best conversations I have ever had in my life yesterday with anyone.
Oh my God.
I didn't even have a top 10 conversation yesterday that I've had in my life.
That's terrible.
That's terrible. All right. Well, whoever you are, okay. It says you want to talk about Virginia redistricting.
My name is Matt, and we spoke last night. There you go.
What are you wearing, Matt?
You don't need to know that, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
it sounded like you were thinking about me last night, so I figured, might as well just have a little more fun with it,
Anyways, how do you feel about the redistricting thing? Do you think it's gonna pass muster here or what?
It already has.
Well,
Virginians already voted Virginia already voted to make sure that it's going to happen.
51% to 49%. Do you feel like that's fair representation of the state?
And that's how a popular vote works.
Interesting. So, besides the popular vote argument, do you think it's fair representation?
Hold on. What was the percentage of voting when the Republicans did this in Texas?
That was done through the state itself. That wasn't done through the.
What percentage of people voted for it?
The state has a different constitution in Texas.
Oh, gotcha. So you're complaining about the Democrats doing it when it was up to a popular vote in Virginia. But when Texas did it, they didn't even put it up for a vote. They just freaking told everyone, hey, we're just going to disenfranchise a huge population of Democratic voters in Texas for nothing, right? So did Missouri. They did the exact same thing, right? So I think if Virginia puts it up to a popular vote or places like California put it up to a popular vote, right? And that popular vote ends up with them redistricting to where Republicans don't get as much freaking, much vote in their states, well, then that's Donald Trump's fault, right? Donald Trump is the one who disenfranchised their voters by redistricting in between censuses. Censuses? Well,
the census is obviously the census has issues in general, but my question wasn't about comparing the states. My question was, do you think it's fair representation, whether it's Texas or whether it's Virginia? Does it really matter?
No place in the United States well prior to that had fair representation in this country. Yeah. So the electoral college gets rid of that completely.
The electoral college is pretty fair if you ask me in general.
No, it literally makes people that live in like more rural states in swing states, it makes their votes count more than people that live in more populated states, right?
How?
Right. So like California, like a state that's incredibly populated like that, only gets a certain number of electoral college votes, where you have states like Wisconsin who have way less people. But comparatively, if you compare each vote to an electoral college vote, their vote is actually more powerful. Yeah. All the electoral colleges is DEI for red states, right?
The electoral college is designed to create a more fair representation of the less populated states. I agree, but you don't think that the less populated states should have fair
No,
representation?
hold on. No, fair representation would mean that it would be equal, right? It would mean that the same amount of power that a vote for somebody in California has would be the same amount of vote that somebody in rural Illinois has. That's what's fair. What the Electoral College does is it makes it unfair, right? It makes it to where if you live in a more populated state or a more popular state, your vote is worth less. And if you live in a freaking, less popular red state in the middle of the country, then your vote is worth more. It's the opposite of fair.
The Electoral College was designed how many years ago? So I guess you could, if you had a better argument regarding that, you would say maybe they should have a balancing of the states, of the Electoral College across the states.
No, I don't want a balancing of it whatsoever. I want a complete destruction of it.
That's crazy. You can't. I mean, that doesn't.
How is
make
that crazy?
sense.
We literally run every single vote in this country except for one by popular vote. Why is it crazy to say the most important one shouldn't also be ran by popular vote?
Popular vote doesn't determine the presidency.
That's my problem.
Why? Because I don't understand. Politics is designed to be unfair to certain people. It always has been. So there are people that.
So your excuse for this is that it's designed to be unfair, so it's okay that it's unfair.
100%.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That is the dumbest thing that I've ever had in my life. So you're saying it was designed to be unfair. We could make it fair, but I don't want to because it was designed to be unfair.
No, I don't. I'm fine with the Electoral College.
Right, totally you're fine with it being unfair.
Anyway, so besides the Electoral College crap, what
is more fair? Really, honestly, what is more fair than one person's vote is worth one vote? And every single person, no matter how old you are, how young you are, where you live, how much money you make, no matter any of those things, okay, you get one vote, and that one vote goes up against everybody else's vote. How is it anything more fair than that?
Yeah, so we're using this example based off of the current, you're talking about the current population not having a fair balance or whatever through the Electoral College. You can't control that. The Electoral College was created, like I said, X amount of years ago. That was based on the population at that time. Things have changed. So
Electoral College votes also change. I said get rid of it.
There's nothing wrong with the Electoral College.
There's everything wrong with the Electoral College. It literally makes it where certain people's votes don't matter. Not only certain people's votes don't matter, but a large amount of people in the United States, your vote doesn't matter. Right? That's what it literally does. Okay? It literally says that, hey, if you are somebody who votes red in California, your vote doesn't matter. Your vote completely goes away. Right? If you're somebody that votes blue, if you're a Republican in California, your vote doesn't matter.
That's how it is now. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying, sir. The Electoral College makes it where it doesn't matter.
I'm talking about state elections, not presidency.
Did you move to where your phone, you shoved it in your pocket or something? Because you sound like shit.
No, it's the wind. My bad.
Yeah. So this is not difficult. That's exactly what I'm saying. I am saying that the Electoral College makes it where your vote doesn't matter. I'm saying if we just made it a popular vote, then every single person in the United States, their vote matters.
The popular vote is how can the popular vote be fair on the presidential general election? How could a popular vote be fair? What's the appeasement there?
I have a better question, sir. How can you think that somebody
say I will pay all your I will give you free shit for the rest of your life. You could be the shittiest presidential nominee in history, aka Kamala Harris, and sit there and say you're going to give free shit to everybody. Everybody's going to vote for you. That doesn't mean you're a good person, a good fit for the job, for whatever you want to say. They're just giving you
Yeah,
free shit.
sir,
People are
that
gonna vote
already
for that.
happens with the Electoral College. The only difference
No, it
is
doesn't.
that yes, it does. It happened in the last election, right? But regardless, all the Electoral College says, it says, hey, that one person that's lying that could be a shitty president, if you, with the Electoral College, only about 5 states get to decide whether that shitty person becomes president or not. In a popular vote,
What
it would
5
mean
states?
every singular person, okay, in the United States would have to vote for that shitty person on a majority, sir. I don't understand. Like, why are we like even having a conversation about how a popular vote is fair? Do you not think that
Because
every other popular vote, sir, can you please name
trash.
can you please name a singular other vote that exists in the United States that's not popular vote?
A singular other vote that's not popular vote?
Yeah, one political vote in the United States that's not a popular vote.
Not off the top of my head.
Well, so you're saying every singular political election that we have in the United States is unfair because it doesn't have an electoral college.
The whole point is you're just speaking from a popular vote perspective. So the small states like New Hampshire that only have 4 electoral college votes has fair representation on the grand scheme of things.
They would all have fair representation either way. Sir, again, if every single person gets a vote, then every single person has fair representation. It's that simple. If I have a vote and you have a vote,
like I said,
and this person has a vote, and that person has a vote, and this person has a vote, and that person has a vote, if every single person has a vote, then it's all fair. Land doesn't vote. Okay?
Land pays the bills.
Land doesn't pay the bills either, but it sure as fuck doesn't vote.
Land feeds your family. Land feeds your family. I mean,
no,
really?
Other people's land feed my family.
That's a total horseshit argument, and anybody that says that is uneducated. They think
everyone that says that land doesn't vote.
They think because
guys,
they live in a big
apparently
blue city,
this guy says that fucking if you say that land doesn't vote, then you're the biggest idiot. Okay, well, I guess I'll just have to wait until the midterms and watch when land fucking cast their first vote. Because I'm such an idiot where I don't know where land votes.
Fucking statement. No shit, land doesn't vote. That's
well,
what
when I said land doesn't vote, that is literally what you're arguing with me right now. Do you not even understand it? Do you not even understand that I said land doesn't vote and you are arguing it with me right now? That is what you are arguing against me.
As an example, it's a poor example because you're focused on the big blue cities with high population.
No, I'm not. I'm built
to
on everyone.
Those people don't pay the bills.
Every singular person in the United States would get a fair vote. I'm not taking away the vote of people in rural Missouri. I'm not taking away their vote. I'm giving them a fair vote. I'm giving every single person a fair vote. What you are arguing. No, sir. Every individual. Does Missouri cast a vote or does a person cast a vote? Where do you live, sir?
I live in Massachusetts.
You live in Massachusetts. Do you believe that Massachusetts should decide how you vote or that you should decide how you vote?
They kind of already do. It's like 80%.
I didn't ask you what do you think they do or they don't do. I asked you whether Massachusetts should decide how you vote or if you should decide how you vote.
Obviously, I should decide how people vote.
Well, guess what? Right now at the Electoral College, you don't decide who you vote. Massachusetts decides who you vote on. That's the entire point, sir. You're literally arguing against that. That's the exact point that I'm fucking making, sir. That's the exact... You literally walked into the fucking wall. You literally walked into the fucking wall and didn't even realize you hit it. You're like one of those funny, you're like one of those funny people. You're like one of those funny people that the funny cartoons when the fucking coyote would run off the fucking cliff and not realize he would not start falling yet because he hadn't looked down. Like, that's all you are right now. You literally just haven't looked down yet. And so you're like, oh, I guess I must still be under land. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Literally, I am literally just saying that you deserve a fair vote just the same as everybody else. You're a conservative. You're a conservative in Massachusetts. I don't believe that that's fair. So I believe that you should have a fair vote just like everybody else. See how that works?
Caller is dense. All right there, Amy, whatever your name is. Like, you know any better? Probably live in a fucking deep blue city that doesn't know jack shit.
You literally live in Massachusetts.
So my point is, if I'm in Massachusetts, I'm an independent, but I typically vote Republican.
Wow.
Okay? My
Wow.
vote
That's
doesn't
crazy
mean
saying
shit
that
because
from
it's a deep
Massachusetts.
blue state. How is my vote fair representation?
It's not. That's what
Because
I'm
I'm in a deep
saying.
blue state. The further left or right you go in a state, you're not getting fair representation if you're on the opposite spectrum. In the state.
Exactly.
So popular vote is trash.
Exactly. What are you okay?
Popular vote in this
You do
state
realize
is
you do
trash.
realize, sir, you do realize you just said my point. Like that, you just literally recited my point. You know that, right?
No, I'm actually saying the opposite. You're not listening.
Nope,
to
you
me.
literally just said my point.
You're saying the
Like
popular
word
vote,
for word.
You're saying the popular vote.
I don't
would
know.
be
Like
better than the electoral college, right?
that's pretty crazy. That's
Are
pretty
you
wild.
listening? I'm asking you a question, Paulie.
Sir, I don't know what I'm supposed to argue with you on. You literally just
you're
made my
saying-
point. You made my
you're
point,
saying
and now you're
popular vote
arguing
is
my
more-
own
would be
point
make more sense
against me.
than
And
the
like,
electoral
is this some weird like gaslighting thing or something? This is confusing.
Dude,
to me.
you're not listening to me.
This
You're
is
just
like some
talking over
weird.
me.
This is some like weird gaslighting thing or something where I have to argue my own point, but I have to like argue it from both sides. Like I have to make the exact same point from like a conservative and a democratic like freaking like this is insane.
Paulie,
This is insane. This is the dumbest thing. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. No, you're right. I'm not anymore because literally you just said my exact point and you don't even know what point you just made that was my exact point.
In this
Yeah,
state
this is
that
like
I
some
live in.
Confucius shit or
In
something.
this state that I live in, it is a blue state. I vote Republican. It is 70 whatever percent blue, 30 whatever percent red. Okay? How do I get fair representation from a popular vote? Woe is me in a deep blue state when I vote red. That doesn't make any sense to me.
You don't.
Okay, so how do we fix that? If we
With
made an
a popular
electoral
vote.
college in the state, we can
With
fix
a
that.
popular vote. With a popular vote. With a popular
the
vote.
popular vote
We
is
fix
always
that
gonna be
with a
blue,
popular
no matter
vote.
who.
We fix
It's
that
gonna
with a
always be
popular
blue,
vote.
dude.
That's how we fix it.
Oh my god.
Like that's great. Like that's how we fix it. See, right now you don't
No,
get a fair
because
vote because of the electoral college. With a popular vote, you would.
The electoral college is a representation of the state, the population of the state.
Right,
It's
sir.
not a
So you just said
representation of-
maybe I'll try one more time with you, and then I'm just gonna move on to somebody else because this is
The electoral
this is literally a
college is
sad. This
indicative
is
of the
literally
population of
this
the
is
state,
literally like a
Paulie.
sad joke right now. Okay, this is literally
my
like a
God.
sad joke. So you just said that 71% of Massachusetts is blue, correct?
Whatever it is, yes.
Sure. So that means 29% of people, their vote doesn't matter according to the electoral college. The 71%,
No, according to the popular vote.
sir, I'm going to finish my
talking
point
about
with
the
you
Senate.
quiet.
I'm talking
I
about
will
the
mute
Congress
you
and the
in
Senate.
3, 2, 1. Talk again while I'm talking.
Oh, good Lord.
Jesus Christ. So you're saying that Massachusetts is 71% blue, which means it's 29% red. According to the Electoral College right now, all 29% of those votes don't have a vote. It doesn't matter because the 71% that's blue, okay, means that the Massachusetts Electoral College votes all go blue, right? That's how it works. If it was a popular vote, then 29% of the vote in Massachusetts would go to whoever the candidate was that was red. The 71% would go to the candidate that's blue. Therefore, okay, it would be literally fair because the red representation in Massachusetts would then get a vote. That simple.
So why is the entire House of the state all Democrat, basically?
All right, sir. Well, you
Yeah.
have a wonderful day, okay?
All right, then.
That was the last caller I talked to yesterday, and he's a complete moron. Funny enough, if you missed the conversation from yesterday, he was actually being smarter today. He was actually being smarter today than he was last night. Crazy enough. I know that's wild. Funny enough, the last conversation I had last night, he was actually he was actually dumber. Crazy enough. We were talking about fascism. Anyways, I'm about to move on to the next caller. What was I gonna look up? Man, let's see. I'm just curious. Oh shit, check that out. Look at that. He was like, oh, then how come the freaking Massachusetts House is fucking mostly Democrat? Look at how many. It's about 25 to 132, which means that what's that, like 20% of the House in fucking Massachusetts is red, because that's how the popular vote works. Because that's how the popular vote works. The people that are red actually get representation. Crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so stupid. Anyways, y'all make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. If you guys like support the live, I do have super chats, super stickers, gifting, memberships. I'm almost over halfway. Oh, just over halfway done with the live gift goal too, of the sheep too. So if you guys like to support, also pay links in the bio. They're all at PolyPolitics. So if you like support, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here and for the support. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. What's your name, state, and did you vote for Trump? Or do you support Trump still?
Yes, I do. My name's Joe.
Awesome. What state are you in?
Michigan.
Michigan. Awesome. So why do you still support Trump?
Because I agree with what he's doing in Iran. And I had another question I'd like to ask you before we start on that, though.
Sure. Well, we can start with something else. What's up?
How do you feel about the SPLC giving the KKK $3 million?
Well, you mean that allegation?
Well, they're indicted for it, yes.
Yeah, people get indicted for things all the time, sir, and then are proven to be false. They indicted Tish James, and it didn't even get to fucking court because it was such bullshit. They indicted James Comer, didn't even make it to trial because the whole thing was complete bullshit. So if they're proven to have done something wrong, then we'll talk about that, right? Or even if they're not proven in a court to have done something wrong and there's significant evidence that says that they did something wrong, then we can have a conversation about it. But right now they're claiming that they paid people that were inside undercover investigators in these groups, and that they were paying their freaking inside investigators to that. It actually makes sense what they're saying. I'm not saying it's true or not. We'll find out during discovery, won't we?
Yeah, I guess we will. And other extremist groups too, they were paying, but yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, well, they literally freaking, like, their whole thing was fighting hate crime. So it doesn't surprise me if they were paying off both informants or paying off undercovers that were in the hate groups that they literally spend their entire time trying to prosecute, right? So it like that, and that's why it's not something that's like super surprises me, right? Like, I think what surprises me much more is how much the Trump administration is trying to go after people who go after hate groups. Like, why is their main target a law firm that specifically goes after hate groups? Like, why do the people that you vote for, why is that their main target?
Well, because if they're getting, this is all funding, donations that they're spending people's money on. So it's Democrat money.
So gotcha. So why is the number one target for the Trump administration a group that goes after hate groups?
Because they're getting caught with fraud.
No, they're not. No, the fraud has been proven.
Well, all right, we can go on to
because what fraud? Like, literally, what fraud? The Southern Poverty Law Group is, sir. Right now, they're saying, hey, they paid money to these people. And the Southern Poverty Group is going, Yes, we did, and here's why. Here is the 100% legitimate reason why we're doing that. That's not fraud. Okay,
But
they're
it
not
says they're
saying
giving the
they're
money
not
to the
saying, "Oh,
leaders
we
of the
didn't do it."
KKK,
You don't
not
know
just
that. There's been no
insiders.
evidence. There has been no evidence provided to show that they were giving it to anything illegal or that anything against what they said has existed. Unless you have evidence to that, do you?
No, but when they do go to court or whatever, then we'll have this conversation then.
So you're jumping and making an assumption about what's going to happen in this court case when no evidence is provided and you know nothing. Did you just watch too many older millennial videos? Is that what it is?
No, it was the Justice Department, you know.
So you just watch too many older millennial videos. That's all it is.
I don't even watch old millennial videos. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I watched the same video, okay, where he talks about this thing and makes a whole bunch of assumptions that he has no idea about and lies through his fucking teeth through the whole video.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. Sir, there's a difference between somebody who's indicted and there's all of this evidence that is presented in a court case, right? There's two different things, right? If somebody is like indicted in something and it comes out and there's like, hey, look, we have 500 pages of evidence to show that like everything that they're doing is a complete crock of shit. That's one thing, okay? But for them to go out, for them to just make this accusation and their only evidence is them paying some people that they said they paid, right? Like that's nothing, especially with this Justice Department. And this Justice Department has been very, very well known to just target anybody that Donald Trump doesn't like. Again, they freaking indicted freaking Letitia James for nothing. Like they had like 8 prosecutors quit because they didn't want to indict her because the DOJ for the Trump administration was just going after people they didn't like. They did the same thing with James Comer. This DOJ has consistently just targeted and tried to prosecute people that Trump doesn't like. I said Comer, sorry, James Comey, and has consistently gone after people that they just don't like. Right. So I'm sorry, it just makes it really, really hard to trust anything that they do.
I get what you're saying, but you said they paid them. So, I mean, you know, why would they admit to paying them with donors' money?
Because of what they're saying they paid them for. I already said that.
Okay. All right.
Again, sir, they're not saying, they said that they said specifically, right, and this is from The Guardian, it says that those payments were standard undercover intelligence work used to track extremist threats and prevent violence.
Okay, if you pay the leaders of the KKK for that,
it doesn't say anywhere. There is zero evidence to say that they paid the leaders of the KKK. Zero.
And there's zero evidence that says they said what they said was true.
Correct, but I'm not making a claim. You are.
Yeah.
If the Southern Poverty Law Group or law, whatever it's called, so whatever comes out with the evidence that shows that they freaking pay legitimate intelligence work, then there's nothing to talk about. But again, the Trump administration is the one doing the indicting, so they're the ones who should have come out with evidence already. Otherwise, Law Center, thank you. They're the ones who should have come out with evidence already to show that what they were indicting made sense, and they've come out with nothing.
Okay. Are you ready to move on? And we'll talk about this at another date.
Sure. I have a feeling we won't.
Why not?
Because the Trump administration specifically does this to get you guys all wound up. Okay. It gets you guys all wound up, and then you guys think about it, and then nothing comes of it, and then you guys forget about it, and then it just goes away like it's nothing. You guys, again, you guys did it with James Comey. You guys did it with Letitia James. Like literally, Trump supporters. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I mean Trump supporters. You guys literally get all riled up about these indictments, and then literally they disappear, and y'all forget all about them like they never existed.
This is the first one that I thought was seriously true. So that's the other indictments or whatever that happened with Comey and I never said anything about those.
Yeah, I'm just saying it gets really tired. Like, oh, all the evidence is going to be about Hunter Biden. 2.5 years of investigation, nothing. Oh, all of this evidence with freaking Epstein files and Bill Clinton. They testify, just disappears out of nowhere. Oh, like it just goes on and on and on and on. Like once a month they come out with somebody who's the worst people ever. They try to indict them. They try to freaking bring up a congressional investigation about them. They do all of these things, and then it just goes away and it all disappears. And none of you guys come back and go, oh yeah, that was our bad, or oh yeah, we shouldn't have listened to Donald Trump, or oh yeah, maybe we won't pay attention to the next indictment, but then the next one comes up and everybody gets all riled up again. It just doesn't, doesn't make any sense. But anyways, what else did you want to move on to, sir?
We could talk about Iran for a minute. I was gonna say about how the blockade is going, and by us not letting any ships in, they're basically starving the shit out of Iran. And they only have about 2 weeks left of surplus that they can hold oil. Now, when that falls apart and they can't send out any more oil because we won't allow them to, then they have to stop paying their military. They have to stop. People have to quit their jobs. And all they have in Iran is oil and pistachios.
Okay, and what does that have to do with anything?
It means they're going to have to make a deal. They're going to have to make a deal, or they're going to fall apart. No,
it just means that if they'll have to make a deal, or all of the people in Iran will start to fucking die. The civilians will. Do you think that fucking the Iranian government gives a shit if their civilians are dying?
I mean, they should, shouldn't they?
Why? They didn't before we started the war. Why would they now?
That's their job, to keep their country going.
No, their job is to survive and stay in power, according to them.
But if they if they don't have oil, they're not in power, though.
Yes, they are. They still have the guns. You don't need oil to shoot a gun.
What guns? What guns?
The ones in their hands. Yeah.
They have nothing but speedboats left.
And see, you had, dude, and this is literally, and I've explained this before on live, and let me explain it again. The way you guys like think about war, all right, when it comes to countries like Iran, is completely off. Like, it's completely wrong. Okay, you think, oh well, they don't have boats to fight back, then we won. Nope, that's not how that works. Oh, their civilians are starving, so we won. Nope, that still doesn't mean you won, right? Like, oh, they don't have they don't have more fuel to do X, Y, and Z, so we won. That doesn't mean that. You don't think that'll start a civil war? Sir, a civil war between who? The armed people and the non-armed people? Maybe. That'll just end up with more dead civilians. That hundreds of thousands of them more likely.
IRGC. There's more civilians than there is IRGC.
Yep, and those IRGCs, well, people will probably kill them 1,000 to 1.
Not if they get supplied weapons.
By who?
I thought the Houthis were already supposed to do that.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But even if they do, that means there will be about 4 different freaking armed groups between the Arab groups, the Houthi groups. Forgot the other one, right? And there's about 3 armed rebel groups all going in attacking the IRGC. All blowing up civilian infrastructure and killing each other. And then at the end of it all settles, all it's going to be is whoever was the meanest and nastiest person within the guerrilla warfare, which that civil war will last for years and years and years, right? Like, then whoever survives at the end of this huge bloody fucking war will come out the winner. And we have no idea if the people that come out the winner even does anything, right?
And you gotta account for us bombing the fuck out of them the whole time too, and killing their leaders day after day after day.
Oh, that won't happen.
Why won't that happen?
Because Donald Trump doesn't want to continue staying in this war. He said that outright.
He wants a deal to be made, but he's not going to accept any more bullshit deals. You know what I'm saying? He's had enough of the bullshit.
Sir, first of all, that's not the point. You're saying that freaking the things that you're talking about are going to cause Iran to come to the table, and it's not. Okay, if what you were saying, if like an inability to get oil out was going to make Iran come to the table, they already would have come to the table, right? If bombing them was going to make them come to the table, they already would have come to the table. Okay, if civilian casualties where they're going to make them come to the table, then they would have already come to the table. Okay, all of those things are, hold on, sir. all of those things would have already made them come to the table, and they're not coming to the table because the only thing that the Iranian regime cares about, they care about one thing and one thing only, and that's survival. Okay, as long as the regime, and that's not people, okay, as long as the regime survives, they win. And right now, the regime is still surviving. But let's be even more clear, all right? We already have evidence that when JD Vance went to Pakistan to negotiate the deal, they already put a release of sanctions on the table, right? So they want Iran's freaking highly enriched uranium, just like under freaking Obama's deal, right? And
But
they're
that was
willing
a
to
miserable deal, and
hold
it was only
on, sir.
temporary.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Why?
Let me finish the sentence.
You haven't let me finish that much, but go ahead.
Okay, well, you can finish when I'm not in the middle of mine because you don't even know what you're responding to because I'm in the middle of talking about the deal. You're trying to compare it to Obama's deal, and you don't even know what the deal is because I'm in the middle of explaining it. Right now, the Trump administration is literally putting up sanction relief for Iran in exchange for them giving up their nuclear weapons. That's the exact same as Obama's deal. No different. So if they're putting up the same deal as Obama's deal, and you're saying Obama's deal is horrible, then what was the point of all this?
Because his deal was temporary. It wasn't a long-term deal.
This deal is also temporary.
Exactly. So they're
So
temporary
what's the
deals.
difference between the deals, sir? If Obama's deal was also temporary and this deal that JD Vance is trying to make is also temporary, then what's the difference?
Because first off, they're actually killing their negotiators. I heard they killed their two major negotiators that were negotiating. The IRGC just did.
Cool. What does that have to do with what I said? That was like a huge pivot and didn't go to anything, sir. I asked you if the exact same thing that the U.S. is putting on the table are the exact same things that were under the JCPOA, or what you guys like to call the Obama nuclear deal, or the Obama's Iran nuclear deal. If the same things that JD Vance is putting on the table for that are the exact same things that were under that thing, then what's the difference?
First off, because they're afraid of Trump, they weren't afraid of Obama. And the deal that Trump's trying to make is going to be a lot more long-term. And we will be inspecting everything at all times. We have better surveillance now. We know where their shit is now.
Gotcha. So we're going to go back to inspecting all of their stuff, which is the same as Obama's deal, and going back to where all of their stuff are, which is exactly what we were doing under Obama's deal, for a temporary deal, which is the exact same as Obama's deal.
You can say it was the same, but I don't think they were giving us their information, and I think they had a lot of his enriched uranium.
They didn't, though, because we had all the inspectors in there going to all the places we needed to go to and prove that they didn't have it. Not to mention that including our intelligence agency, which is one of the best in the fucking world, if not the best in the world, all said that they weren't doing it. 50 other intelligence agencies across the world that all inspected it all said that they weren't doing it. The UN said they weren't doing it. The IAEA said they weren't doing it. Iran said they weren't doing it. Literally the only country on the planet that was saying that they were doing it was Israel, but nobody else on the planet was saying that Iran was going outside of the JCPOA, that they were enriching uranium outside of the JCPOA, that their levels of enrichment had gone outside the JCPOA. All of the things that right now Donald Trump wants them to do, all of that stuff they were already doing under the JCPOA.
Okay. And so they were also lying though the whole time. I'm not gonna cap. They were lying. They were never going to not try to make a nuke. My problem is, I don't think that Iran should ever have a nuke. Under no circumstances, under any deal, I don't think they should have enriched uranium over 60, even close to 60%. I don't think they should have it over 5%.
Well, that's the one that we agree on, sir. That's what. Sir, I was just gonna. Sorry, you stopped. I was just gonna say I agree with you, sir, that they should not do that. That's why I was happy with the JCPOA, which limited them to 2.7% enrichment, and they were abiding by that.
Okay.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
From what we know, they were. From what we know, but what was I gonna say? Now that you interrupt me, give me a second.
Well, you did stop completely and pause for like a long time, so I thought you were finished.
Sorry. Well, this wasn't what I was going to say, but they still came to the negotiating table with us in March, saying that they did have 60% enriched uranium and they would have 11 nukes within 2 weeks or whatever it was.
When did they start enriching above 2.7%?
8 years ago.
And what happened 8 years ago?
Your so-called Obama deal got snapped.
Right. So Donald Trump pulled us out of the Iran nuclear deal where they weren't enriching above 2.7%. And then they started enriching higher. So if Donald Trump hadn't pulled us out of the deal, they never would have actually gotten to 60% to begin with.
But you do see that if you don't do what Iran wants you to do, look what they did when Israel was going to bomb that. They also said when we were negotiating with them, if Israel bombs them, they don't care if it's just Israel or anything. They're hitting everybody, and they hit their neighbors, they hit their allies, and they were going to hit our U.S. bases. So that's why we joined in the first place. So we wanted to try to take out as many of their weapons as we can.
When did they say that?
That's negotiating.
They said that after it had already happened?
No, when we went to negotiate with them.
No, sir, they did not say that. Prior to the U.S. attacking them, they never said, even if Israel hits us, we're going to start attacking U.S. bases. They did not say that at any point in time.
They said we won't know who it's from, therefore we will attack everybody and cause mass chaos like they did.
Not even close to what they said. Actually, Israel's attacked them multiple times over the last few years, and they never did that. Yeah, Israel attacked them last year, and they didn't go across attacking a bunch of U.S. bases and allies. Apparently, they knew who attacked them, didn't they? Hell, they didn't do that even when the U.S. and Israel got together and bombed all their nuclear sites. They still just bombed Israel.
Right. Right.
So what makes you think that all of a sudden they don't know who shot them? Sir, I'm not saying Iran is the best freaking, military in the world. I don't believe that at all. But they're also not completely inept. They can see where missiles are coming from.
Yeah. Why would they start bombing their allies? I don't get that.
Yeah, they're bombing oil infrastructure.
Still, how do you bomb your ally countries?
Yeah, because they're bombing oil infrastructure. They're bombing allies to the United States, right? So they're bombing oil fields in Saudi Arabia. They're bombing pipelines in Saudi Arabia. They're bombing natural gas factories in places like Qatar,
Saudi Arabia pipeline.
Yeah, all those places, right? And they're doing all of that stuff because what they want is it to hurt Americans' pockets so bad that Donald Trump has to cry uncle.
Okay. And at this point, from what I heard you say back in the day that the U.S. doesn't have enough oil for all these countries that are coming to get oil. And I just heard yesterday that we have a shitload of oil and we've been pumping like no other to get this freaking oil and getting oil from Venezuela, that we can supply all these ships.
And where did you hear that?
I read an article about it 2 days ago.
Where?
I don't remember. I was just going through.
Okay. Well, all energy agencies in the United States say that's completely not true. Yeah, we don't even have enough refineries to refine all the oil that we make right now. So there's no possibility of us bumping up the stick anymore. We're literally freaking producing oil, and we were doing that in 2024 and even higher in 2025. We were already producing higher levels than ever in American history. So if we're already producing at levels higher than American history, just because another boat show up doesn't mean that we can just turn up the volume even more, click the switch up to 11. That's not how that works. Right.
What about the big oil companies that we sent to Venezuela that are just now starting to get their oil going?
Yeah, those big oil companies that went to Venezuela won't be getting their oil for probably another half a decade. What are you talking about? Venezuela had a completely antiquated antiquated system that wasn't even close to being able to drill. They can't just turn that thing on.
From what I heard, all they had to do was just get major security, and they were tapped in for 5 months now. And how long does it take?
A long time, years and years and years and years.
Because I heard it was going to be this year.
Yeah, no. But even then, the Venezuelan oil is not even like great oil. Then we'd still have to refine it in order to go on these ships because these other countries don't have the ability to refine their oil. So even if they were able to get all that stuff, we still wouldn't be able to refine it. So we still wouldn't be able to go on those boats.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm going to let you get to your next caller. I don't have much more.
Okay. Well, have a good one, man.
You too, man.
Bye. All right. Actually, let me do this real quick. There we go. Let's add one in there. Sorry, I was freaking messing with them. Anyways, y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to move on to the next caller. Yeah, at least I didn't get any slurs or any crazy stuff. Nobody screamed at me for that call. So I guess W's in chat for the caller for that one. If you guys like to support the live, I do have super chats, super stickers, pay links in the bio. So if you guys like support, I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the live. It does help me to keep doing this every day, so I appreciate that. Specs, thank you so much for the $2. Said Northeast is educated. Sorry, Western MA for life. Oh, you're talking shit on that the dude prior, like where he was at in Massachusetts. I do not know enough about Massachusetts in order to fact check you on that. So, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. Robert, thank you so much. The Jewels, sister, thank you so much. The Jewels, no man, thank you so much. And One Mighty, thank you so much. The flowers also. I really appreciate y'all. All right, we're gonna keep this thing going. We've got another caller in here.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
To a more constructive conversation with the last guy.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Said it was good listening to with the last guy. I'm a long-time listener. I hear a lot of idiots call you.
Oh yeah, generally. So what's up? What's your name, man? How old are you? What state are you in?
I'm in Houston, Texas. I'm 25 years old, and my name is Sharif.
All right, awesome. So are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Why is that?
Well, I'm very proud of our handling of the Iran situation. I think this is something that should have been done a long time ago. I think we've severely limited their capabilities of supplying a lot of the proxies that they have, and I'm just waiting to see the next steps in this operation.
Me too, but I don't believe that they've set them back on any ability to do that for any amount of time. Yeah, I believe that actually the first thing that they're going to do as soon as they get all these sanctions relieved, which apparently they're going to get because JD Vance is allowing that to happen, they're going to get a huge influx of money, and they're probably going to start supporting their proxies even more than they were before. So yeah, maybe for this temporary amount of time, month or two, then possibly, but in the long run, it's probably going to be much worse.
Sure. Well, I mean, in this 40-day conflict, in the span, we've been able to conduct over 11,000 airstrikes. We've successfully hit 4,000 different targets. We've limited their military infrastructure 100%. So, I mean, I don't think there's really an argument against that.
No, there's tons of arguments against that. Because it accomplished nothing, though those military assets had no threat to us or any to the United States whatsoever. There was no imminent threat for those military. Cool, we took out a bunch of weapons that couldn't hit us and couldn't harm us, right? And we did not limit them 100%. They still definitely have military capabilities, and it's cost us billions of dollars and American lives in order to again limit military structure, conventional structure that couldn't even touch us to begin with.
Yeah, so we lose a lot more American lives with far more futile tasks. You can count the number of people that died in this conflict on your hands. We took out over 60% of their ballistic launchers, and we've destroyed their nuclear plant. I don't remember what it's called. I can look it up so I can be more accurate. And we also destroyed another or limited the production at another facility. So we're not putting a pause on their nuclear program. We've completely put a stop to it for right now. It's going to take them some major resources, which they don't have, to get this up and running again. We've done hundreds of billions of dollars in damage. I mean, it's a little bit insane to me when people argue to me that, oh, we're not really doing anything. This is just a waste of money in American lives. We're definitely doing things.
It is. How does us spending hundreds of billions of dollars taking out military infrastructure in Iran that could not hurt me or anybody I know a good use of funds?
Absolutely, that's a great question. I mean, we're attacking all of their proxies by attacking them, and they definitely can hurt you because I think they're our allies, one of us.
Hold on. We are not hurting. Hold on. Hold on.
Telling me that
you're not answering the question. Us taking out their ballistic. No, because you're not answering the question. You're pivoting.
I haven't cut you off yet.
You're pivoting. You're pivoting. Then why don't you just answer the question, dude? You're taking out the. You're like. You asked me. You told me that we took out their ballistic missiles.
Hey, let's not.
I want to know. I want to know how taking out their ballistic missiles, which you said was the big thing, which has nothing to do with their proxies, has nothing to do with their proxies. I want to know how hundreds of billions of dollars, right, to take out a ballistic missile program that could not touch us, that they weren't using against anybody, is helping me. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, 100%. So the reason why right now there's a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz is because the insurance companies are refusing to insure the ships out of fear that they're going to get hit with what? A ballistic missile from what? The 60% that we've destroyed. And if we're capable of destroying all of them, there will be no problem with the insurance companies. There will be no blockade at the Strait of Hormuz. That's just one thing. There's an entire list of reasons why it would be smart to destroy the ballistic capabilities of the largest terrorist proxy in the world.
Gotcha. So your argument to why I needed to waste hundreds of billions of dollars of American tax dollars is so that we could take out ballistic missiles that were no threat to me, so that they could not hit ships in the Strait of Hormuz that they weren't hitting before.
Yeah, so it's a capability that
then I don't give a fuck, dude.
Hey,
then I don't give a shit. Like cool.
This is not a clown show. We're having a good conversation.
It sounds kind of like a clown show, man. Because they're not even using those ballistic missiles aren't even the big threat to the Strait of Hormuz. They're using drones mostly for that.
Look bad, dude.
Sir, I don't need your opinion on me. You're pivoting from the question, and I'm bringing you back to the question. No, you are not. No, you're not trying to answer the question. You're not trying to answer the question. I have asked you twice. Okay, let me be clear. I've asked you twice why us spending hundreds of billions of dollars to take out their conventional military weapons for hundreds of billions of dollars of tax dollars helps me. The first thing that you said, okay, is that they won't be able to fund their proxies. That's not an answer to the question, because us taking out their conventional military weapons was not how they were funding our proxies and has nothing to do with it. Okay? The second time I asked you that exact same question, you told me it's so they can't hit ships in the Strait of Hormuz, which they weren't doing anyway. So again, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars in order to stop them from hitting ships in the Strait of Hormuz that they weren't hitting prior to us starting this war. So I'll ask you for a third time, how is spending hundreds of billions of dollars to take out the conventional military weapons of Iran that was not a threat to the United States in any way, shape, or form, how is that a benefit to me as an American citizen? That is what I'm asking you.
Okay, and I answered that in the Strait of Hormuz question. You don't have to actually be able to strike the ships for taking out the ballistic missiles to be the course of action, the necessary course of action. Especially if, do you know why there is a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz?
Fucking joke.
I mean, you're not look, do you know why? You not liking my answer is not me not answering your question.
Yes, it is. It's 100% not answering your question.
Why? Do you know why there is a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz?
Yes. There's tons of reasons why there's a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, let me ask you a question. Was there a block in the Strait of Hormuz, or was Iran shutting down the Strait of Hormuz before we decided to attack them unprovoked?
It's absolutely provoked. What are you talking about, dude? If you attack our allies in any way.
When did they attack our allies?
How did they attack our allies? Great question. So, can you tell me how Hamas was funded? No. I asked you. See, you're talking about that. See, you keep pivoting off of all of the conventional weapons. You're saying that the number one thing, okay, that we accomplished in this war, okay, was for us to take out their conventional military assets.
That is
I
what
never
you're
said
saying.
that, but sure.
Yes, you are. You're
I never
saying
said
your
that.
big thing in this thing is we had all these thousands of strikes that completely limited. You said 100% limited their military, conventional military capabilities in the country. That's what you said. Okay, so that is the part that I am talking about. We can talk about the proxies. We can talk about the Strait of Hormuz. We can talk about all those things. Okay, I have zero problem with that. Okay, we can talk about all those things because there's a lot of really horrible things in there. But you cannot explain to me how us spending hundreds of billions of dollars taking out their conventional military assets was a plus for me because it doesn't help me. Okay, them funding their proxies is a completely different conversation. Them shutting off the Strait of Hormuz is a completely different conversation. But us taking out their military assets and doing all these thousands of strikes doesn't do fuck all for any American citizen. There is not a single US citizen that exists in this country that helps. It is a waste of taxpayer dollars. It is only done because Israel freaking talked us into it and no other reason besides that. That's the only reason that exists. It is Israel first and only Israel first, okay? And I'm sorry that us sending American troops to fucking die for something that is Israel first is a fucking joke. It's a waste of our fucking time. It's a waste of our fucking money. No, don't cut me out because it's a fucking joke.
You cut me off every time I speak. Dude.
Because you're not answering the fucking question. Because you're
doesn't
pivoting
matter
from the
if you don't
fucking
like to
question
answer my
like a
question,
fucking child.
dude.
All right, ask me a question. Fine, ask me a question.
I don't need to ask you a question. We're in a debate. You're
No, you just said you were going to ask me a question. You just said, I'm going to ask you a question. You literally just said, I'm going to ask you a question. You literally just said, I'm going to ask you a question. You literally just said it.
Can you please calm down?
Oh, you can. How about you shut the fuck up and stop being a little bitch?
Ah, you're mad, dude. You're fucking.
No, I'm not mad, sir, but you're not gonna come on my live and tone police me. You're not fucking gonna come on my live and tone police me because your parents didn't raise you right, okay? Because you fucking didn't have enough fucking sense to fucking learn anything when you were in fucking school. So don't come up and tone police me. Hey. You're not going to come up and tone police me on your live. I understand that is the tendency of white people when they're talking to brown people to say, oh, they're fucking loud and they're being too obnoxious. And I don't want to hear them fucking talk too loud at me because I'm not used to brown people talking to me like that. But I'm not going to sit here and fucking listen to it, okay, little guy? I will talk on my fucking live however the fuck way I want. If you got a problem with it, then you can go run back to whatever fucking little incest trailer park you crawled out of, okay? Jesus fucking Christ. I hate when fucking I get a bunch of little children tone policers on my fucking live who won't answer fucking questions. Like literally I asked one fucking question, he can't answer it because he doesn't have a fucking clue what he's fucking talking about. Because he has two fucking brain cells fighting for third place because he was dropped on his fucking head as a child. Holy shit, dude. Craziness, bro. You got anything to say that's not fucking tone policing my fucking live, little guy?
I think you muted me. I think he's scared.
Oh, I didn't mute you, you little bitch. I'm waiting for you to finish up your shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, all you're doing.
Now I did.
Hilarious, dude. I mean, you're not achieving anything out of this.
Sir, I can't achieve anything talking to you anyway. You're not smart enough to achieve anything out of. So if you have something to say, you should probably get along with it. No, there you go, trying to tone police me again. So I'm going to mute you again. I'm going to unmute you in the count of 3. You should probably move on with your point because if I hear any more of your fucking whining, I'll just drop you. It's a waste of my fucking time to talk to you. 3, 2, 1. Good boy.
Dude,
move on with your point.
Because of tone policing, and you assumed my race. How are you winning?
Oh, is this sounds like whining. Do you want to get dropped?
Bro, what is wrong with you, dude? Are you
move on with your point? Last chance.
Yeah, so I mean, like I was saying, dude, we are definitely it's in our best interest to attack someone who is a danger to our allies. Israel is a strategic ally. No matter whether you think that they're good people or bad people, there is a reason why we're allied with Israel. And if something is a threat to our allies, we will take that threat out, whether you like it or not.
Perfect. Russia's a threat to
all
our
of you-
allies. They're currently
hold on,
at war
hold
with
on.
Ukraine, who is our ally,
Dude,
right? That is
dude,
happening right now.
look,
North Korea is also a
is
threat
not
to
a
our
debate,
allies.
dude.
They have
You're
literally
trying to
just
dominate-
there he goes with the whine again. North Korea is also currently a threat to South Korea. Actually, very recently, they threatened South Korea. So if you're saying that if we have anybody in the world, okay, anybody in the world who is a threat to our allies, we should take them out. So when do you think we plan to go take out North Korea and Russia?
I mean, that's not what I'm saying. But tell me how we can have a cohesive
That's
conversation.
literally the words that just came out of your mouth. Those were literally just the words that came out of your mouth.
Dude,
Those were literally just the words that
people. It's not
came
how you
out
win
of
a
your
debate,
mouth.
dude.
You said the words. If you are a threat to our allies, we are going to take you out no matter what, and we do not care. Did you not just say those words?
Like, can you speak?
Did you not just say those words? 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 Did you not just say those words?
Yes, I did.
You did say those words. Perfect. So, and since you said those words, I am asking you, and since according to the words that you just said, anybody who is a threat to us, we are going to take out. So when are we going to take out North Korea and Russia?
Dude, you don't think that it's one of our fucking missions to get rid of North Korea and Russia?
When are we going to take them out? You just said, if you're going to do it, then we're going to go and attack you. It's a best interest for us to attack every single country. You said it's in our best interest to militarily attack everybody who could be a threat. When are we going to do it?
Holy shit! Can I speak uninterrupted?
Can you speak with enough sense to fucking?
Are you capable of letting someone else talk?
Yeah. Are you capable of having a coherent thought that's worth listening to? Are you capable of having a coherent thought that is worth listening to? That is the fucking question. Because until you started acting like a little childish, little petulant child, we were actually having a nice conversation. You're the one who decided to turn this fucking conversation by acting like you were 12 years old. Sir, I am more than happy to go back to having a coherent conversation, but you're going to have to grow up in order to fucking have one. So whenever you're ready to have a coherent conversation, then maybe you should start acting like you have the ability to have one.
Your credibility is sinking in this call. Everybody sees your
You know,
fucking
sir,
crap.
whenever you have to say that you're winning, just to let you know you're losing. If at any point in time you have to say I'm winning or your credibility or you're losing, then guess what, sir? That means that you're losing the conversation because you can't actually attack any of the points that I'm actually making. I am making a direct point to the words that you fucking said. I am making a direct argument in this debate off of words you fucking said. And again, I will remind you of what your words were, since apparently you don't have the ability to remember them. You said that if any country is a threat to our allies, we will directly and immediately attack them. I asked you a direct question on your point, which was Russia is a direct threat to our allies and is currently attacking one of our allies. North Korea is a direct threat to not only North Korea, but Japan, and has been threatened, and it's directly threatened them recently. So when are we going to directly attack them? Because you're saying that that is what we do in this country. We directly attack anybody who threatens our allies.
Yeah, can I have a minute to speak without you spurging out, please?
I don't know. Can
Okay,
you
so
speak
in-
for
in
a
the
whole
sense-
minute without whining and crying?
In the sense, that's
I guess
literally
not.
what you're doing. All you've been doing is calling me names and saying that you're
And
winning.
there he goes
You're-
again. Fucking Winefest
Okay,
2000 over here.
You're not gonna.
Oh my
let
god, can
me
we get a bunch of
finish?
baby bottles and snowflakes in the chat for this guy? Because his whining is literally the saddest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. Like literally, I could literally have a conversation with a 4-year-old and there would be less whining than is what going on in this conversation. Just speak your answer to the point. You made a point, I made a direct rebuttal to the point. Just speak the rest of your point. I don't need all the fucking whining commentary, bro.
I mean, I'm trying.
Like
to,
literally,
bro.
you are
I
at
really am.
25 years old acting like you freaking say you're this many. Respond to the direct point I made to your argument. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Yeah, it's good to see how mad you're getting, but it makes
See, here he goes again with the fucking whining, bro. All right, dude. Well, and since you can't answer the question, I'll just move on to somebody else. There's an 18-year-old on the line next that is fucking probably going to be a lot more mature than you. But this is a sad fucking, this is exactly what's wrong with fucking Trump supporters, especially Trump supporters in their 20s. It is literally the Dunning-Kruger effect in fucking, like, just shown all the fucking way. This dude didn't pass his literal fucking middle school civics fucking exam and can't answer a direct question on a fucking point that he made, and instead of engaging with me in the argument, all he's doing is whining about his perceived treatment. Okay? That's all he's fucking doing, is whining to me about his perceived treatment instead of just making a fucking point off a direct point. But I'll go ahead and answer the question that this guy is too stupid to fucking answer, okay? The reason why we don't attack countries like North Korea and Russia is because it is not the smartest thing in the fucking world to just attack every single country who militarily who threatens your allies. If we did that, then the United States would be in a consistent war. We would always just be attacking random fucking countries across the entire fucking planet, because there is always a threat to one of your fucking allies. There is always a fucking threat to one of your fucking allies. It never doesn't exist. We did not attack Iran because they were a threat to our allies. We attacked Iran because Israel told Donald Trump they were this huge threat, and he manipulated Donald Trump into fucking going to war, wasting American tax dollars and American lives for fucking nothing. U.S. citizens, what did U.S. citizens get out of this fucking, what did U.S. citizens get out of this? U.S. citizens got higher gas prices, higher consumer costs, a whole bunch of their tax dollars wasted on fucking nothing. That is all they fucking got. They got nothing else. All right? Can you please tell me your rebuttal to that?
Oh, you're done? I'm still on the line?
Yeah, can you tell me your rebuttal to that?
Yeah, so
Just kidding. Get the fuck off my life. Anyways, y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm directly asking you questions about your exact point, and you're like, you don't want to actually have a debate. No, you just don't have the ability to answer me, little guy. You just don't know enough information to actually answer any of the questions that I'm saying. Okay? And you don't like it when you get called out for fucking pivoting. I don't know whose live you're used to being on, but this isn't Pivot Central Live, okay? Y'all, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Guys, we knew we had to have a crazy one. The last caller, we mastered the whole time, and nobody got all in their feels or got all upset or got all crashed out. So we knew we couldn't have, 2 in a row. Y'all, if you guys would like to support the live, I do a super chat, super stickers, pay links in the bio. It really, really helps me to keep doing this every single day and help bring you guys new content, new fresh content every single day. So if you guys have the ability to support, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I also have 2 more little sheep going on over here. I also have pay links in the bio, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. They're all at PolyPolitics. And we're gonna move on to the next caller. Also, don't forget about memberships and super fans. I saw Cat Mom just became a new member. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Oh, real quick, John, thank you so much for the $10 too. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Before we start, I would just like to say that I'm coming into this with an open mind. I'm willing to learn. I just want to have a civil discussion.
I would also like to have a civil discussion. So anyways, do you still support Trump?
I've been leaning away from him for the while now, but I still support some of the stuff he is doing, yes.
All right. And what do you support that he's doing?
I support the attacks and like the shootings because I think that that the illegals coming into the country should not be here and should be forcibly removed by any means necessary.
Why?
Because there is a right way to get into a country and there's a wrong way to get into the country. They are currently doing it the wrong way. They are jumping the border and they are coming into the country illegally when there are pathways for them to immigrate into the country legally through proper channels.
First of all, actually, the majority of undocumented immigrants that are in this country and the majority of the ones that are being detained by Donald Trump actually came into the country legally and then overstayed some type of legal form of being in the United States. So that's already not true. Okay. Second of all, he's putting in freaking children and other people that were actually born here or have been here since they were toddlers, who have been here 10, 20 years and don't know anything other than this country. So it's not like they ever made any actual choice to actually come into this country illegally because they were too young to know what the law was. Okay. But third of all, what are the legal forms that you're talking about that are actually the legal ways that people can enter?
I'm talking about like channels like the immigration, like people like immigration offices who can help them get into the country. Like there are people they can talk to, like immigration offices, other places like governments they can talk to help them change countries to get out of Mexico or wherever they're coming from and into America or any other country they want to immigrate to.
Yeah, the only things that you're talking about are few, far between, barely exist, and cost an entirely shit ton of money. Yeah, and they barely exist. When I asked you which channels people could come into the United States, I'm asking through which programs. You said there are legal channels in which people can get in. Like, I'll give you an example. And the H-1B visa program, which is what Donald Trump has essentially shut off, is a legal form of entering the United States, and Donald Trump just made it almost impossible for anyone in the United States to come into the country legally. Asylum is another way that you can come into the country legally, right, through legal means, and Donald Trump has essentially shut off all asylum seekers from coming into the country also, right? So please tell me the ways that people can actually come into this country legally and actually help to immigrate to gain permanent residency or citizenship.
They could go through like waiver programs where
Like
they can,
what waiver programs?
like ESTA or like
ESTA?
ESTA, yes.
Okay, and what's ESTA?
ESTA is a program for like, I don't know all the details, but I believe it's a program to help people migrate from other countries like Mexico and Central America into the USA.
Wrong. ESTA is a travel visa program from approved countries for just visiting, for visitors. Yeah. So like if somebody's coming from Italy, because I know, because I used to live in Italy, so I've had friends that have come to visit me from Italy, right? So they were able to apply for, instead of getting a tourist visa, they were able to apply through ESTA. It literally just takes like 20 minutes to get approved instead of the very long process of giving a tourist visa, and it's only here for 90 days. And if you stay past that 90 days, then you are an undocumented immigrant in this country if you stay past your visa. Also, if you work while you're on ESTA, you're also fucking immediately an undocumented immigrant in this country. Yeah. So nope, that's not a legal path in order to gain any type of permanent residency or legal citizenship in this country.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of that.
That's fine. I'm informing you.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous after the train wreck of the last person.
Sir, the whole point I'm making is there is very, very few, if not very close to zero, actual legal paths into this country. They don't really exist, right? Asylum is one, right, in which it exists. There are certain work visa programs that are temporary, right, that you could possibly try to apply for some type of some type of legal residency through that. But essentially, our immigration system is broken to the point, all right, where there isn't really that any like real comparable way, unless you're very rich or very wealthy wherever you're at, in order to actually gain legal immigration into this country. It's almost gone. So when you're saying they should do it a certain way, that certain way doesn't really exist. That's why we need actual comprehensive immigration reform in this country in order to actually provide those paths. And once those paths actually exist, and we actually have the ability for people to come into the country legally, for people to be able to freaking gain citizenship, be able to gain residency in a manner that does not take 10 years, that can be done, through background checks and done with some sort of ease. I'm not saying it has to be the easiest thing on the planet, but it does have to have some sort of relative ease. Then you have an argument for that. But right now, the reason why we have so many undocumented immigrants in this country is because our legal system is broken.
Okay. I wasn't aware of all that. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, man. We're having a conversation. Breathe.
Right.
Okay? Breathe.
Okay. Basically, yeah, so like, you just debunked my whole argument. I've got nothing left. Yeah, I guess like, I don't know. I just want to be part of a positive change through like, I understand like ICE isn't the perfect thing and Trump has gone crazy with it, but it is at the end of the day, it is an immigration office to try and control populations within U.S. territories and states.
Sir, do you know how long ICE has even been around?
I am not certain. I wanna
2003.
say-
What you said you're 18, right?
Yes, sir.
So not much longer than you've been alive. All right. 2003 is how long ICE has existed. Okay. And before that, we had no issues whatsoever with making sure that, we processed migrants and did all the things. We still had immigration enforcement. We had all of those things, right? And
Right.
we didn't have ICE. All right.
Okay.
And ICE, even in the way that it was built, right,
Right.
isn't even being used that way anywhere anymore. It's being used as a private freaking like secret police for the Trump administration to go after cities and states that he doesn't like. Right? That's why he's sending people to Minnesota and Portland and all these other fucking states that really don't matter. You ever wonder why, if we're trying to go after all of the undocumented immigrants, we're sending mass ICE agents to places like Portland and Minnesota and not Texas and Arizona?
Yeah, I have found that strange and odd.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because Donald Trump is not using ICE to go after undocumented immigrants, because then we'd be going after the places where the most undocumented immigrants are at. He's going after places that he perceives as blue, as people that are politically against him, right? In order to
Right.
use them for a political purpose, right? That's why ICE just needs to be abolished. That's why we just need to get rid of the whole fucking thing, right? And just start over. I'm not saying we don't need to... I'm not saying we don't need some type of immigration enforcement. I agree that we need some type, but we need to break this thing down all the way down to the freaking bones, right? We need to take this
Yeah.
thing down, shut down ICE, because the form in which it exists right now is just not sustainable for American life and for American
Go on.
future.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I don't know. I have varying degrees of opinions on this, and I don't know. It's like when I think about
Can I just break you just stop real quick? And I know you probably have a really good point to make, but I keep seeing this notification and it's so fucking funny, and so I want to talk to the crowd about it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Apparently, one of the special forces soldiers that helped to capture Maduro went on Polymarket and bet that we were going to capture Maduro and made like $400,000.
Ain't no way.
And he was just arrested. He literally bet that we were going to go capture Maduro because he knew we were going to go capture Maduro because he was the one going to go fucking do it. And so he put a whole bunch of money on it on Polymarket and made like $400,000.
He's just an idiot at that point. I'm sorry, but come on, dude. You gotta be smarter than that. Please, for the love of God.
Oh my fucking God, bro. Oh my fucking God. That's too fucking funny, man. That's too fucking funny. All right. I'm gonna let you go, Jordan. I hope you have a good one.
Okay.
We'll talk again soon. All right, man.
Okay. See ya.
All right. Guys, I have another caller on the line. Looks like I got Xavier on the line, and I'm just about to bring up Xavier. If you guys are over on the Tiki Talkies, I have to do a restart over there. I've been under a restriction for the last hour, and it's absolutely killing my numbers. I thought the appeal was gonna come through. It didn't. So I am literally gonna be off for like 10 seconds. So go up, click on my page. Okay. Just go to my profile. And then wait like 5-10 seconds, like refresh it, and it'll come right back up because I'm not gonna be off for very long. So don't go anywhere. All right. See you guys in a sec. All right, y'all. While we're waiting on them to come back up, and before we bring Xavier up, y'all, again, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you guys like to support the live, I do have super chats, super stickers, pay links in the bio. So like SCal said, U.S. and Israel don't attack countries with nukes. Correct. Which exactly destroys that guy's point that we attack any country who threatens our allies. Hey, exactly. But thank you so much. Matt Chu said, Poly cult members say what? I have a cult? Dude, that's pretty awesome. You know, you make more money as a leader, but you have a lot more fun as a follower. You know? That's what I've heard. Thank you, Creed. Thank you so much. Wayne, thank you so much for the floating heart. Scott, thank you so much for the $10. Says, super chat about younger trumpets. They are telling you the views that they hear at the supper table. Too young to form their own views and talking their dad's views. There is not talk from both points of view. Yeah, they, a lot of younger people, that's how they are. They just take up whatever their family's viewpoints are. But hey, that means that they can be changed, right? That means that they can be changed. I think that that's important. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. All right, we are going to keep this thing going. Really, really appreciate you guys. Yeah, they haven't had the brain development to think for themselves yet. They're working on it. Yeah, they haven't had the brain development to think for themselves yet. They're still working on it, okay? Hello, Xavier.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hey, how old are you and what state are you in?
33, New York.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Why is that?
The last conversation I just heard, that's why I got on, is because you're talking about the illegal immigration, how they got in. They didn't come legally, they came illegally. Under Biden, over 8 million came under the 4 years under Biden illegally.
Yeah, that's
and
just
they're still in
simply
this
not
country.
true. Yeah.
It is true.
Awesome. Where do
The
you
facts
see the
are there,
number
my
from
friend.
8 million?
You could look it up anywhere. Google.
Yeah, I have looked it up like
Yahoo.
tons of places, and I've not seen anywhere that says 8 million. That's why I'm asking you where you got it.
8 million
At the
between
super
2021 and 2024.
Yeah, in the super, super, super high estimates that I've seen on it for Joe Biden, it's close to 4. Yeah.
8 million.
Okay, again, sir, are you going to give me a reference for that? Because I can just pull it up if you really need me to.
It says it right here. Total encounters between 2021 2024 is 8 million.
What's the definition of an encounter,
every
sir?
Every year is 2.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Gotaways, which the ones that they escaped, they can't find them under Biden, 1.7 million. And under Trump this year, it compared to Biden, reportedly dropped down to 90%. And that's
Copy. What's the definition
approximately-
of an encounter according to DHS?
It could be that they try to cross the border, but we saw all those people cross the border, so there was no security during Biden's time.
So right here, sir, and I can put it on the screen. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, CBP encounter. U.S. Customs and Border Protection prevents people from entering the country illegally or bringing anything harmful into the illegal into the United States while facilitating lawful international trade. The CBP encounters key homeland security measures, including any encounter of a removable alien. These includes 3 sets of data: people who unlawfully crossed the border between ports of entry, people who entered at a port of entry but are inadmissible, and both of those are under Title 8, by the way, and people expelled under the Title 482 public health order between March 2020 and May 2023 due to COVID-19. Okay, so literally, according to CBP, the number that you're giving me, all right, is the number of people that Customs and Border Patrol caught, and they weren't allowed in the country. All right, weren't allowed in. All right, they are inadmissibles. All right, so when you tell me that, when you tell me in 8 million encounters, that's fine. An encounter does not have anything to do with how many people actually came into the country. So when I start talking about people that actually came into the country, from a legal standpoint, right? I'm not talking about encounters. Encounters doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so during that time in the Biden, and I know you were watching the news, all those people that crossed the border with no border security, all those people that's not even accounted for, and then they came to New York. They came to all the all the blue states. They got free health care, free food, free apartments. They were living in New York, 5-star hotels for free. Everything you didn't notice none of that at all when that was happening.
No, because that
when
doesn't
that was going
exist,
on?
sir. Yeah, because that didn't exist.
It doesn't exist when it
What
was
do you mean?
happening.
What do you
I live
mean
in New
when?
York and I saw them all there.
No, sir. The people
Under
that
Biden,
were
when
the
there were all the
sir,
illegal immigrants from all the countries.
sir.
They weren't even Spanish. They were all from everywhere. They were crossing the border.
Well, sir, I assume
And
most
they-
of them weren't from
Mhm.
Spain. Yeah.
No, they were from a lot of different places. A lot of them from Africa, a lot of them from Europe, a lot of them from South America.
Yeah, but you said a lot of them
Central
weren't
America.
Spanish, and I agree with that. Sir, the people that were in New
Yes.
York were asylum seekers that were sent there by Greg Abbott. Okay?
With our tax dollars, living in 5-star
Yes,
hotels.
with our tax dollars,
Correct?
but they were here legally and sent to New York by Republicans.
With no ID, with children that wasn't even theirs.
Sir, what the fuck are you,
You know how many
talking
missing
about?
children are missing around worldwide, especially in Mexico?
How many
especially
children
in
are
Europe?
missing worldwide? Probably a bit. What does that have to
Yeah.
do with people that were legally in the United States?
Because as soon as they came over across the borders, and I know you've seen videos of this, and there's people that posted personal videos, not the news. There's missing children. They were taking them in vans, and they would come up to a driver, like 2 adults, 3 adults. They had little white badges on them, and they would say, "Where are you taking the children?" They wouldn't answer no question, and they would just drive off, all tinted vans.
Sir, what the fuck
The
are you
children got
talking
never
about, sir?
found again.
Sir. The people in New York were here legally. That means that they had all their paperwork. They weren't carrying missing children over. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
They with no ID, with fake names.
No,
Come on,
sir.
bro.
Those people did not have fake
This-
IDs
this-
or
this
fake
was-
names,
this
sir.
was a job.
They
You
were
know-
here
you know why-
legally.
you know why they did
Sir,
that?
no, stop
why
talking.
Biden did
No, stop talking. Okay? I am not going to sit here and just listen to you spread a whole bunch of fucking misinformation across my life. Do you have any proof of anything that you're saying?
No voter vote.
Sir,
That's the
I
reason
asked you
why.
if you have any proof of anything that you're saying, because all this shit that you're saying is just a rollover of misinformation and lie
It's
over
not
and over and over.
misinformation. What
Yes,
you
it
say,
is,
what
sir.
you say a lot of times is misinformation too.
Cool. Sir, how about this,
You
sir?
don't have no proof?
Sir, then how about, well, sir, just like I've just proved the encounters and put it on the screen for everybody. And why don't we just go off of things that we can prove? So you go ahead and tell me what proof you have. And then when I combat it, I'll bring up the proof that I have. Sounds good?
Okay.
All right. So what proof do you have of any of this stuff happening?
Houses in Texas they found missing children in the house? Do you want me to tell you?
If you have proof of it.
I can tell you right now.
No, where's the proof? How about you start with the proof and then you can say it?
Yeah, right now.
Cool. Anyways, y'all, while he goes and finds the proof, because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about over here.
You know what
Holy
I'm talking
shit.
about, man.
What?
You know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea
got
what the
first
fuck you're talking
Ryder
about.
Brian, Houston, on April 22,
Who?
2026.
Hold on, who?
Ryder Bryant.
Who's Ryder Bryant?
There's one.
Oh, who is that?
I'm telling you in Texas. You want me to give you proof? I got you.
Yeah, what's your proof? What website are you on?
Google.
Google? When you were on Google, I'm sure there was a link that you could click on to find your source. What is that?
300,000 numbers. In Google, just put missing migrant children.
I'm not doing that. Click on a
Unaccounted
link
for.
that actually is a source and then tell me what the name of the source is. Google is not a
I'll
source.
tell you. www.gop.gov.
You're joking, right?
No, I'm not. That's the government website, right?
Do you have anything that's not the Republicans directly just said so?
Come on. It's a government website. It's the truth, right? You
No.
want me to give you proof? I gave you proof right there.
No, government websites don't
Well,
have a
it has to
necessity
be a
to be true.
Democrat website for you to believe it.
I'd prefer an independent one.
So you're biased for the websites as well. Like, it has to
Yes,
be- it
I would
has to
like
be a
independent
Democrat website.
people. I don't even think GOP has a .gov. They're a private organization. What is GOP.gov?
You can look it up.
All right, let's look it up.
GOP.gov.
GOP.gov.
300,000.
Oh, they actually do have a GOP.gov. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but this isn't proof of anything.
Because it's a Republican website, like
Yes.
you mentioned. Oh, so it has to be a Democrat so you could believe it.
Nope, I don't want a Republican or a Democrat website.
You're biased.
I want an independent.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter then.
Sir.
We could show you the facts, and you're
Hello.
still gonna go against
Hello. Are you there?
Go ahead.
Sir, I don't want
Talk.
I don't want a Republican or a Democratic source. I want independent sourcing.
Okay. I'll give you another one.
But just to be clear, that 300,000 number that they hold on, sir. Just to be clear, that 300,000 number that freaking the Republicans always talk about, it actually isn't missing children. It's actually just missing paperwork on children that were placed with family members and stuff. So.
But no, it's missing. They're missing. They still don't have them. They're not located.
They don't have them because they weren't looking for them, sir.
Okay.
Because they didn't need to be found because they weren't missing. Yeah.
Okay, I got another one. KTVU.com. Operation Lightning Bug.
Operation Lightning Bug. You know, that's better than most of the operations that they that's better than most of the operation names that they do. What did that say?
And they were illegal. They were illegal. They were illegal children. Those people. Those are the kids that crossed the border. The children are missing. It was a big thing with the votes, with children, especially children trafficking, human trafficking. It's messed up. So messed up.
Are you talking about a movie or something? What the fuck are you talking about?
It's not a movie.
Sir, I'm not saying that
They made it a movie. It's a true story. I don't know if
they made it
I
a
didn't know
movie.
They made a movie. No.
Oh, this was some Q stuff. That makes sense. I was like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah. Do you want to go to the next topic?
Nope. I'm gonna put this on the screen and I'm gonna read it for everybody.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Are the children actually missing? According to an immigration experts and attorneys, the claims largely stem from an August report from the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General Office, which found that 32,000 unaccompanied minors failed to show up for court dates at immigration courts from 2019 to 2023. The report noted that 291,000 migrant children received no court notices at all. It also called on the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, to take immediate action to ensure the safety of unaccompanied migrant children in the U.S. Migrant children who do not appear for court are considered a higher risk for trafficking, exploitation, or forced labor, the Inspector General Office reported. But Aaron Milneck, Policy Director for American Immigration Council, a migrant advocacy group, told the BBC that figures are indicative of a bureaucratic paperwork issue rather than anything nefarious. When you hear the phrase missing, you think that there is a child somewhere that someone is trying to find and can't, he said. That's not the case here. The government has not made any effort to find these children. Many of the children, experts say, may be at the addresses that are on the file with the government, but are simply unable to make their court dates. That doesn't mean that something bad happened to them. It means that you missed a court hearing. We cannot, however, suggest that 320 of these children are being labor trafficked, he said. An immigration researcher with Numbers USA, which calls for tighter border controls, said the children are difficult to track because some of the combinations of apathy, incompetence, and bureaucratic inefficiency. Many, hopefully, but even most, are safe with caring sponsors, he had, but the Biden administration can't actually say one way or the other and apparently doesn't care to find out.
I'm their Biden. Thank you. Big mess. All those children are missing.
Wow, you literally don't even have the brain cells to comprehend what I said. That is fucking amazing. It is literally, and it's literally impressive. Like how I could literally read to you directly what's going on, and your entire brain just went nothing. Like didn't hear a single fucking word. Like it's honestly
because
impressive.
Of the fucking addresses? Are you fucking serious? You think those are facts? You think that Democrat person that's saying, "Oh no, don't worry about it," it's because
what Democrat person?
They might not be living there. They
what
probably
Democrat
gave the
person?
wrong address. Oh, come on, bro.
What Democrat person?
Come on. The one that you mentioned, that guy.
What
the
guy?
one that was defending everything.
What guy?
You just mentioned that. You were reading it. I forgot.
Well,
I
I'm
wish
saying,
I
since
would've
you
caught
know
that
he's a
name.
Democrat, you must be a huge follower of his. So who is it?
I would imagine he's a Democrat.
Oh, so you don't even know who it is that you're calling a Democrat?
Yeah, but he's the only one that's defending it. He's like, oh no, the addresses, maybe they don't live there no more. They might probably move.
Sir,
Some
that's
bullshit shit?
not
Some
even what he
bullshit?
said.
Come on, man. Do you love children? Do you
That's
even like
not
children?
even what he said.
You just mentioned it right now. Oh no,
Nope,
it's
that's
because
not
of
what
the
he
addresses,
said.
because they didn't show up to court.
Yeah,
Come on.
they didn't show up to
Bullshit
court.
names and
Correct.
bullshit addresses. Once you were crossing under Biden, everybody lied. Nobody had to show ID to cross the border. And you say that's legal? That's
You
not
think
legal.
people that
That's
didn't
bullshit.
cross the border and show ID had court dates? How did they get court dates, sir, if they were just walking across the border without showing IDs?
They were walking in, and they didn't have to show ID. They gave bullshit names and bullshit addresses and bullshit states that they were going to go to. It was a free-for-all. It was a buffet.
So they gave bullshit names, bullshit addresses, and Customs and Border Protection just broke the law and just was like,
Under
nope, I'm going to
Biden,
let you anyway.
Yes.
That's
Under
not true,
Biden.
sir.
Yeah.
That's literally why there were
It
8
is
million
true.
in, sir. That's why there was 8 million encounters that you talked about so much, because those were the people that were inadmissibles, right? People who were not allowed in. So if somebody did that, they would have been under those 8 million encounters that you were just talking about.
There's videos of everybody just
Sir, you
crossing
can't have
everywhere.
videos of people showing fake IDs to Customs and Border Protection. If you have a
They didn't
video
even
for
show-
that,
you didn't
if you have a
to.
video for that, I would love to see it.
You didn't even have to show ID.
So
All
a
you have to
second
say is the
ago, you
name
told me they were
and the
all
state you're going
showing. So gotcha. So a second ago, they were all showing fake IDs and fake names.
No,
and
I didn't
now
say fake IDs. I said
you
fake
did say
names
fake ID.
and fake
You
addresses.
did say, yeah, you did say fake ID.
No,
sir.
fake names and fake
Yeah,
addresses.
you
That's
did
what I
say.
said. I
Gotcha.
didn't say
So a
they
second
didn't even have
ago, you
ID.
didn't even have to give. You had to give them fake IDs, fake names, and fake addresses, and now you don't even have to give them any of that stuff. That's crazy how quick.
No,
that,
you didn't have to
that
give them. You
swapped.
didn't have to
That's-
give them no fake IDs because
That's
they weren't
truly
checking
amazing.
IDs.
Yes, you did, sir. You
They
definitely
weren't
said
checking
that.
IDs.
You
It
literally
was a
just
free
changed
for all.
your.
It was a buffet
You literally
for
just
all the
changed
criminals,
your
the
own
illegal
point.
criminals to
That
come
was
over.
very impressive, sir.
You know how many illegal immigrants are killing people day by day over here in the United States?
A
Illegal
lot less
immigrants?
than American citizens.
A lot less than American citizens.
A whole shit ton less than American citizens.
You know what American citizens do more than the illegal immigrants? I'll tell you something.
Murders.
Fraud. No, fraud. They steal our money, billions of dollars.
No,
Billions
there's
of
still
dollars.
a ton more fraud committed by freaking American citizens, like especially people like Ron DeSantis, who literally committed fraud on Florida taxpayers. Fucking Rick Scott, which literally just fucking committed a whole bunch of fraud on our Medicaid system. Actually, it's actually just mostly Republicans. Yeah, it's just mostly just Republicans.
Democrats.
Democrats do commit fraud too. I'll say that Democrats do commit fraud, but it's a lot more just Republicans.
Hot news. Ilhan Omar, your girl, the one that you guys support, billions of dollars she took from all of us, from the taxpayers.
And
now
how did she do that?
Because she goes, oh no, my accountant did a mistake. I had millions, but no, I'm a thousandaire now.
What in the literal fuck are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what sir. Please.
In Minnesota.
Sir,
the Democrat
please,
Minnesota.
just every once in a while, just put the crack pipe down. Okay?
I'm not putting it
you're not putting it down. Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna put it down. Sir, just every once in a while, just put it down, okay? And that way we can like come back to like that way we can all live on like this reality like together. You know what I'm saying? I would much rather work in this reality. Sir, can you please show me the source for that? I'd appreciate it.
All you have to do is type in her name.
No, I'm not going to do that. You do that, and then you tell me where I can go find this source.
I've been done it.
All right, cool. If you did it, then you can go find. Then you can go tell me where it's at.
Go to any platform.
I'm not doing that, sir. Sir, is this thing on? Hello. Can you hear me?
Everybody in the chat.
Anyways, I don't think he heard me. I told you after all the misinformation that you were spreading on my live earlier that you have to start showing proof of things if you're going to say crazy shit. So now I'm going to need you to go ahead and show me the source. Okay, bud?
I have to treat you like a little baby, like walking for the first time.
All right, sir. Well,
I
either
told you,
you
type
go
in her
give me
name
the
any
source,
platform,
or
and you
I'm
act
just
like you
gonna. All right. Well, I'm muting you, sir. Because I'm not gonna sit here and do this anymore. Because this crazy shit that you're talking is literally not even worth my time. Okay. So, anyways, are you gonna bring me proof, or should I just hang up?
I said Google. Ilhan Omar. That's
All
why
right.
you have.
Well, that's not a source. Okay. Last chance. Are you gonna go find me a source, or are you going to, or am I gonna drop you?
BBC.
BBC. What's the name of the article on BBC?
All you have to do is type in her name.
Nope. What is the
Ilhan
name
Omar.
of the article on BBC?
It's her name. Ilhan Omar.
The name of the article.
Like 1,000 times
So
already.
so BBC got so lazy that they couldn't name the article. They just made it her name.
Because she's fraud. She did fraud in Minnesota.
Because she's
Billions of dollars
fraud.
she stole from us.
So BBC
Yes.
just named
Just
the
type in her
article
name.
Ilhan Omar. Not Ilhan Omar fraud. They couldn't waste their time with that. They just named it
Nope.
Ilhan Omar.
She's not worth the extra letter.
Okay. That yeah. That this is. You know, I don't say this the dumbest person I've talked to in a while lightly, but that's the dumbest person I've talked to in a while. I really try not to say that lightly, but that's the dumbest person I've talked to in a while. You know, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Oh my goodness. That was, like I said, I don't it's like, that was the dumbest. That was definitely the dumbest. Like, holy shit. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next person. If you're in here and you can screen calls right now. Well, I guess we have, you guys, again, if you guys are willing to screen calls, I would really, really appreciate you. Let me know, messaging me on Discord, joining the Discord. That would be really, really awesome. And yeah, it would help out a whole bunch. So I really appreciate you. Also, Tati, thank you so much for the DJ glasses. I really appreciate that. I'm definitely still under that restriction. There's no questions asked. I'm definitely still under that restriction. Anyways, if you guys like to support the live, I do have super chats, super stickers, pay links in the bio. Live gift goal of the DJ glasses. So if you guys like support, I really appreciate that.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Then, guy, you a scumbag. Let me tell you something. You like to play with the public school. I know your voice, and you know who is talking about, right? You playing dumb. You hacking people. You don't represent nobody, ni in the left, ni in the right. You are fucking a scumbag. Because the person who calls school and pretend that they're working in a school.
Was that your? You're calling me a
you
scumbag?
Scumbag. Yes, a scumbag.
Are you that guy? Are you that guy's wife or something?
Because you're the one.
I think this is that guy's wife. She's coming up to defend his honor. That's Melania. Is that you? Melania, is that you? Guys, everybody, welcome Melania Trump to the live. Really, woo! Oh, Melania. I had so many questions. Melania. I had so many questions. It's unfortunate. I had so many questions. Anyways, Yorkie is moving. Matt, you think polybots, polycults say what? This guy totally got me. Thanks, Matt. Scott says young trumpets proof is dad said so. Yep, exactly. And Jeff, thank you so much for the $5. Says Japan is an Asian country, part of the continent. I don't know what that's referring to. But thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. I really don't know what that's referring to. Anyways, again, if you all would like support, I do have super chats, super stickers, pay links in the bio. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. How old are you?
25.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
I do.
Awesome. Why is that?
A lot of reasons. His border policy, his trade policy, his the things he's doing in the Middle East.
All right. What about his trade policy?
I mean, the tariffs he tried to do, and him trying to cut interest rates at the Fed.
Is it his job to cut interest rates at the Fed?
It's not his job, but he's trying to lower inflation.
That's really interesting, considering that inflation was already going down and the interest rates were already cutting, and then Donald Trump's direct actions are the ones that raised the inflation rate or kept it steady at the minimum, and therefore stopped it from being able to raise interest rates as much as they want. So exactly how did he try to do that?
He told the chairman of the Fed to lower the interest rates, and the dude said no.
Yeah, because that's not the Fed's job to lower and raise them whenever the president says. It's their job to lower it when it's good for the U.S. economy. Yeah, and Donald Trump specifically coming in and implementing the tariffs was the number one reason why they didn't lower interest rates earlier. And then Donald Trump's Iran war was the second reason why they didn't lower interest rates earlier. Yeah, if he had just not done those things, then interest rates would be significantly lower right now.
What, the tariffs and the Iran war?
Yep.
The job of the tariffs was the same thing he was trying to do with the interest rate. He was trying to lower the trade deficit, which would also lower inflation.
Why would lowering the trade deficit lower inflation?
The lowering the trade deficit would reduce the aggregate demand, strengthening the domestic currency, and reduce the resilience on higher priced imports.
Cool. You want to say that in terms you understand?
I understand the terms.
No, you didn't. I could tell you were reading it.
Yeah, because I have it written down.
All right. How about this? Amuse me, okay? Pretend I'm 10. Explain that to me like I'm 10.
Well, it's going to reduce the demand of other imports, and people are going to buy stuff from us, and that'll strengthen our currency, strengthen the dollar, which will strengthen the economy.
Gotcha. So
And
Donald
it'll
Trump
reduce
tariff.
resilience on more higher priced imports.
You're literally reading it again, sir. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're literally reading it again.
I'm not reading it again.
You're reading. Dude
read
read
it.
it.
I have written down.
Dude read it almost exactly the same and changed like 3 words and didn't change any of it. So let me explain to you how what you said doesn't make any
words. You said dumb it down.
Oh, sorry.
You
changed like 5 words. My bad. I apologize. Anyways, you don't know what you're talking about, and I
I don't know why that has to do with anything. I do know what I'm talking about.
If you did, you wouldn't be chat GPTing it as we go.
You said I didn't put it down. That's how you learn things.
You don't learn things by writing them down, sir. You learn things by researching what you write down. Okay, just writing something down that you listen to on a podcast or that ChatGPT told you isn't learning, but that's okay, sir. I'm still going to explain to you why you're wrong.
I don't know why you're on this. It doesn't make it less true.
This is the 3rd time I've tried to actually explain to you how you're wrong. The 3rd time you've cut me off to whine.
Okay, how am I wrong?
I've been trying to explain it to you. Are you done whining yet?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Donald Trump put blanket tariffs on every country in the world. The majority of those products that Donald Trump tariffed and the countries that he tariffed are creating products that the United States doesn't create, does not have the ability to create, doesn't have the manpower to create, doesn't have the materials to create, doesn't have the factories to create. And oh yeah, companies don't want to move here to create them because the labor cost is too high and it would make the fucking products way, 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 way too expensive. So therefore he is raising the price on the American consumer without any product that's American to back it up, which therefore does not increase the demand. It just reduces the supply while keeping the demand steady. So therefore actually reduces the value of the dollar, which is why you're seeing that the dollar right now has lost power since Donald Trump has been president.
Okay, well, the tariffs were working. It was also a negotiating tactic. He had 15
Wow, way
countries
to
that were
ignore
willing to
this is
negotiate
what
and
I
tell the
meant.
Supreme
This is
Court to
why
stop
I
it.
don't like arguing against Chat GPT, because I literally just
I'm
destroyed
not
your
arguing
point.
against ChatGPT. I got it
Because
from
I
an article.
literally just destroyed your entire point, but you don't understand your point, so you can't even bring a
I
retort to my
understand
point.
my point.
No, you don't. Then respond to what I just said.
That's what I'm trying to do. You keep interrupting.
No, you're trying to pivot to, oh, well, tariffs were actually supposed to be a negotiating tool for this. No, respond to what I just said
They
about
were
the
a negotiating tool.
respond to what I just said about the supply and demand issues created by tariffs and the strengthening or weakening of the dollar. Respond to what I just said.
Okay, here, I'll respond to what you just said.
As
The
he
whole
types it
point of
into
the fucking tariffs
ChatGPT.
was to bring the crap that we can't make in other countries, was to bring the what's it called? Fuck, I can't remember. To bring the industries to our country so that we can make them and it'll lower the price.
So you think that the point of the
It
tariffs...
doesn't matter if they don't have enough
Gotcha.
money to do it. They're going to eventually have to do it.
Gotcha. So
Or they
you
will be
think the
cut out of our
entire
market.
point... Gotcha. So you think the entire point was for companies, right, to bring broom manufacturing or wheel manufacturing to the United States, into a country that doesn't have enough workers and is losing workers due to immigration policy, but that's a whole other topic, right? Who would have to pay them incredibly more instead of just paying the tariff that he was already implementing on them, because it would actually be cheaper for them to pay the tariff that's actually implemented on them, which again, they don't pay any tariff, so it doesn't matter. But for them to actually pay that, for the tariff price to actually go up than it would be for them to move the factories here. And you think that was the point?
Yes, that was the point, to move the factories here so they'd make it here.
Gotcha. Who pays a tariff?
Other countries.
Other countries. So
Yes,
can you please
the other
explain to me?
countries that we put the tariffs on.
Maybe you should type that into ChatGPT while you got it open. Type in who pays a tariff.
I didn't get the fucking thing from ChatGPT. I don't know why. Okay, so I watch your shit all the time, and most of your arguments are just attacking people. I mean, you're not going to hurt my feelings, but I mean,
It sounds like your feelings are hurt.
like, you say you're logical, but it kind of sounds emotional.
As you whine on my live, calling someone emotional.
You can keep going now.
As you whine on my...
Okay,
This
you
is
can keep
literally
going
as I just tell you to look up who pays a tariff. As you answer the question incorrectly, I tell you to look up what a tariff is.
I didn't
and
answer
your
that
response to
question
that
incorrectly. I
is...
said other countries.
your response to that is to me telling you to look up who pays a tariff. Your response to that is, all you do is attack people and you hurt my feelings. Like, that was your response to me telling you
other countries
that your
before that you
tariffs are
started
wrong.
attacking my
Other
because you said it
countries
was
don't
ChatGPT.
pay tariffs, sir. Can you please explain to me how we would enforce a tax
No,
on another
other countries pay our tariffs. That was your question. I answered it.
No. Yeah, you did answer it. That is correctly. You just answered it incorrectly. The literal definition of a tariff...
How did I answer it incorrectly? Who pays tariffs?
I'm
Other
in the
countries,
middle
they pay our
of
tariffs.
explaining that to you. I am in the middle of explaining your question that you're cutting me off to ask.
Okay.
I'm literally fucking 10 words into 20 words of answering the question that you're literally cutting me off to ask. The definition of a tariff is an import tax. Okay, that is the definition, which means it is paid by importers. Okay, not other countries, by companies and people in the United States that are importing goods from other countries. Let me show you how that works. If China is making... Doesn't matter the product, okay? If China's over there making lip balm, okay, and they charge the American company that sells that lip balm 20 cents for the for the lip balm. When that importer receives that good on American shores, they have to pay 20 cents to China, and then that same importer, call it CVS or whoever, has to then pay that freaking another 20 cents on top of that 20 cents to the American government. CVS pays that tax, or whoever's importing it, not China. China still charged 20 cents and still gets paid 20 cents. They don't have to pay anything. Okay, so can you please explain to me how charging a tax on American citizens is good for U.S. citizens?
Charging a tax is good for American citizens because it goes towards the well-being of the rest of the country. It goes towards the tax budget.
Well, I mean, currently the average of about $1,000 that every American paid in tariff costs last year is actually going to fund a war in Iran. But again, different subject. But literally, yeah, that's just Donald Trump raising your taxes and you bragging about it.
Okay, I mean, I like where my tax dollars are going. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
If you like where your tax dollars are going, that's cool. That puts you in the minority of like
to fund the Iran war.
Yeah, if you like where your tax dollars are going in the United States, that puts you in the minority of about 2% of Americans, because nobody, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, especially Libertarian, but literally no one in the fucking United States agrees to where their tax dollars are going. Almost every single fucking person, including Donald Trump, who literally put in a new organization supposedly to freaking get rid of fraud and freaking abuse in the United States. Literally no one on any side of the fucking of the political spectrum believes that our tax dollars are being spent in any kind of good way. No one. Literally no one. So Donald Trump raising your taxes to give giant tax cuts to billionaires, which is most of what he did through HR 1, is just crazy. Literally charging the average American citizen $1,000 extra last year to fund giant tax cuts for billionaires is an insane. It's an insane thought process to have. But that's fine. If you agree with that, then that's just really weird, but I guess you're allowed to have it.
Tax dollars go towards multiple things. I can agree with some things that tax dollars go to, and I can disagree with other things. I didn't say I agreed with everything that they're using my tax dollars for, but I do agree with some things.
Good. What he raised your taxes for was to give tax cuts to billionaires and to lower the corporate tax rate.
Through you said some bill. How did he give tax cuts to billionaires using a bill?
Yeah, he freaking cut the effective tax rate for corporations. And freaking did not close any loopholes whatsoever that would, stop billionaires from continuing to, hide their money, give stock buybacks. Do you know how much like Tesla paid in taxes last year?
How much?
$0. That's pretty wild, huh?
Okay, it's the job of Congress to write the tax code, close loopholes, and do the tax law, not the president. He can, but it's not his job.
It's the job of Congress to make the bill. It's the job of the president to sign it. And Donald Trump's not only advocated for this bill, which he did, it's his literal key piece of legislation that he's had in this presidency. You might know it as the big, beautiful bill that he talks about all the time, HR 1. Yeah, he brags about this consistently, and that's what it did.
Yeah, because it's a good bill.
Gotcha. So if you're happy with your tax dollars going to make sure that freaking companies like Tesla pay less in taxes than you did last year, if that's what you're okay with your tax dollars going to, I have nothing to argue with you on. You're just very, very strange. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about it. You're just fucking weird. Yeah. But if that's what you're into,
the
then
big beautiful bill. Oh my god, bro.
Sure, it is strange to advocate for you to pay more taxes while also advocating for freaking large corporations to pay less taxes. I don't see how you don't find that weird. I don't think most Americans...
I didn't advocate for that. I said the big beautiful bill was a good bill. I didn't say it was a good thing that he's giving tax cuts to major corporations. They're not closing loopholes. I still think it's a good bill. There's some shit wrong with it, but it doesn't make it any less of a good bill.
Sir, you're up here advocating for the tariffs, which paid for the tax cuts in the big beautiful bill. That's the entire point of your argument. Your entire point of your argument is that you're happy about Donald Trump's tariffs, which was a tax. What else do they do? Since I just informed you of what it is, please explain to me on what else they do.
I've already told you, you're not listening. The tariffs, they're to strengthen the dollar. They were a negotiating tactic. Just because some of the money went towards the big beautiful bill. Because I can definitely tell you that not all the tariff money went to the big beautiful bill. Most different things, and yeah, it was for multiple different things. It's not just for the big beautiful bill. I don't know why you're stuck on this thing. Oh no, a bunch of billionaires got their tax cut. Oh, that's it. Oh yeah, I didn't say I was advocating for it.
Okay, well, first of all, I've already explained to you that the dollar is down. So you talking about tariff strengthening the dollar is a fucking joke, and it's been consistently going down no matter what Donald Trump has had in tariffs. So that's a joke. Okay?
It would have went up if the Supreme Court wouldn't have blocked it.
The dollar was going down before the Supreme Court ruled. It was way down before the Supreme Court ruled. Way down. Not even close. Not even in the ballpark. Okay? But second of all, now you're claiming that it's a negotiating tool. So which one is it, sir? Because just a second ago, you told me that it was in order to bring American companies here. And now you're telling me it's a negotiating tool and it does not have the possibility of being both.
It does have the possibility of being both. That's
incorrect, sir. Either A, it's the
bring other industries here.
If it's bringing the industries here, then what is he negotiating?
It was a negotiating tactic to bring the industries here. Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, that one just hurt my brain a little bit. We're going to try to get through this. Okay. No, tariffs cannot both be a negotiating tool and a fucking thing to bring industry back. Okay, when Donald Trump was talking about a negotiating tool, he was talking about a negotiating tool to try to make better trade deals with other countries. That is what he stated his negotiations were for. With that said, okay, you cannot negotiate better trade deals with other countries and also try to bring industry back. Regardless, there was no tariff that Donald Trump put on any company that would have forced another country to come here, especially with the fact that the Supreme Court had not ruled. But even if the Supreme Court had not ruled, right? Companies take 5-10 years to change manufacturing over to move it to other countries. We do not have the workers here. We do not have all of the resources here in order for those major manufacturing to bring things back to the United States, right? Even if Donald Trump wanted to do that with specific industries, okay, which the United States has done for a long time, because the United States has used tariffs for a long time in this country to isolate U.S. industries to lower competition levels between with other countries. That is true. That happens. But that's not what Donald Trump's tariffs actually did. Donald Trump's tariffs were blanket tariffs. He tariffed every country on the planet. He tariffed countries where people don't live and only penguins live. Okay? So Donald Trump wasn't doing anything to bring industry back. Okay? Okay. So Donald Trump's entire tariff plan did not do anything to help negotiate better trade deals. There was not one signed or inked trade deal on the thing. He said he was going to do 90 deals.
The EU and India.
We did not have a signed and inked trade deal with either of them, any of those three that you just talked about. The closest one that came to that was the UK.
But he was working on it.
Okay, well, he said we were going to get 90 deals in 90 days.
Yeah, we had multiple trade deals with the EU.
No, we did not have multiple trade deals with the EU. We had zero trade deals with the EU because a trade deal is an inked and signed deal, okay? That's like you going to the car dealership.
Progress.
That's like saying you were going to the car dealership and you were negotiating price and you hadn't bought the car yet, but the car is now yours. Okay. He had zero deals. He said he was going to make 90 deals in 90 days. He made zero deals in a fucking year. Okay. Zero. Okay.
Yeah, people at the table, at the negotiating table until they stop the tariffs.
Gotcha. So literally did nothing.
If the tariffs got people to the table, if the tariffs were not stopped, they would have gotten the countries to make a better trade deal, but they were stopped, so everybody left.
Yeah, the EU never even tried to vote on their deal because it was so bad. The UK deal was actually more beneficial for the UK than it was for the US. It actually prioritized like cars and other manufacturers coming to the United States from the UK over American companies.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What did you say?
The deal with the EU never even got voted on, never even got close to get voted on because none of the countries would agree to it because it was so fucking bad. And the UK deal actually was more beneficial for the UK than it was for the United States. It actually specifically put things like UK car manufacturing and gave it such a sweet deal that it actually put it over American car manufacturing.
Hold on, I'm getting something.
Yeah. Well, while he's ChatGPTing the UK deal, make sure you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Again, I do have a super chat, super stickers, pay links in the bio. DJ glasses, appreciate you guys. Also, somebody sent me something over on PayPal too. I gotta check that. Joseph, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. Said Trump's inflation is tariff driven, which is unlike demand driven inflation, increases costs and leaves no room for wage growth. There you go. Thank you, sir, very much. W's in the chat for
all right, I'm here. You love sources. This is from wasteful government sources.
Sir, yeah, I'm going to need you to get some better reception.
Council on Foreign Relations.
Sir, I'm going to need you to get some better reception. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now it's a little bit better, yeah.
Okay, here I know you love sources, so here's my sources. I have 3 sources. USTR.gov, and then the Council on Foreign Relations, and then that one's a shit one.
I like the Council on Foreign Relations. But, what do they have to
those
say?
Two sources say that 130 countries came to the negotiating table.
What's the name of the article for Council of Foreign Relations?
130 countries.
Hey, sir, what's the name of the council? What's the name of the article for Council of Foreign Relations? Sir, what's the name of the article? I'm trying to bring it up.
Hold on, I'm reading the article.
You didn't read the article yet, and you're claiming what it says?
No, I didn't read the article. I Googled it, and the sources are where Google got it from.
Gotcha. So you haven't even read any of the sources that you're claiming the information from the sources says?
Well, I mean, if Google's using the articles, then yes, that's where the information came from.
Do you realize AI, that's just an AI overview. AI fucks up literally all the time. What's the name of the article, sir? You clicked on it. What's the name? I'll put it on the screen. You read too slow for me.
The name of the article is... Here, hold on. Tracking Trump's trade deals.
Tracking Trump's trade deals. Cool.
And then CFR.org.
Yeah, I know. I'm very familiar with CFR. In his second term, Donald Trump has set out to fundamentally restructure U.S. trade policy. He announced sweeping tariffs on all U.S. trading partners. When markets reacted negatively, he backtracked on implementing those tariffs. And instead of threatening to reimpose tariffs that failed to secure a trade deal with the United States within 90 days. The move kicked off a scramble among U.S. trading partners to negotiate deals, even though only 2 preliminary deals were reached by the 90-day deadline. Trump did not ratchet up tariffs. Instead, he modified many of the Liberation Day tariffs to lower rates on July 31st, 2025, noting progress made in negotiations. Many of these modified rates were enshrined in subsequent deals. Although Trump may have hoped to rewrite U.S. trade policy with a single executive order, the reality has been much more complicated. In fact, even though a higher overall baseline tariff is in place, the specific of trade relations with the rest of the world are slowly being adjusted one deal at a time. To push those deals along, Trump created additional exemptions in September of 2025, potential trade adjustments for aligned partners, which covers items such as aircraft and aircraft parts, generic pharmaceuticals and ingredients, natural resources unavailable in the United States, and some agricultural products. On November 14, 2025, Trump took further action to exempt certain agricultural products from reciprocal tariffs due to a growing concern over affordability. Therefore, despite high average tariff rates, the actual rate that's applied is much lower and varies considerably by country. For everybody keeping up with all of that, it was just Trump tacos. So, sorry, we'll get back to that. This tracker breaks down the content of the deals to date. We include only those deals that have been written into text to analyze. Most are so-called framework agreements that outline areas for future negotiation while implementing a temporary tariff truce. Those agreements are eventually expected to become finalized. Reciprocal tariffs, which more closely resemble traditional U.S. trade agreements. Unlike those trade agreements, Trump's reciprocal deals exclude any role for Congress. Furthermore, all agreements include large language that suggests rooms for constant modification and quick termination. The message is clear. A trade agreement no longer guarantees predictability in trade relations with the United States. The framework and agreement mix both traditional features of U.S. trade policy and novel elements. The table below summarizes some of the main features. The most novel aspect of these new deals is their strong focus on economic security, blah, blah, transitions in economic security, covering everything from mirroring trade action. IEEPA tariff update on February 2026. The Supreme Court struck down President Trump's International Emergency Tariff Powers Act tariffs. The court affirmed that the Trump tariffs were very clearly a branch of the taxing power, and the Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution gives the power of Congress to Congress alone. The court thus ruled that IEEPA cannot be used to levy tariffs. Tariffs under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1932 and Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974 remain in place. And then he answered some new ones or whatever. This goes actually into the deal of the UK one. Between liberation dates, deal modifies Section 32 sectoral providing the UK with a quota for vehicle imports at a 10% rate to match its new base tariff as opposed to the higher 2020. Hold on. This is your actual source right here. This is great. And in this source that you just gave me, which I love when this happens. Okay. It actually specifically addresses how it actually benefited the UK car market, which I think is absolutely awesome. Oh, 1 second. There it goes. Okay. The deal modified the application of Section 232 sectoral tariffs, providing the UK with a quota for vehicle imports at a 10% rate to match its new baseline tariff, as opposed to the higher 25% rate that Trump announced in March 2026, 2025. It also leaves room to negotiate down rates for additional sectoral tariffs, such as those on aluminum, pharmaceuticals, products, and steel. By the way, all those are just things that are coming into the United States. Both countries committed to addressing non-tariff barriers to trade, such as health and safety regulations and operability of standards and regulation, then mutual recognition agreements and on cooperation of the development of international standards. Those are long-held objectives. It includes provisions for negotiating ambitious trade commitments, which will likely involve the U.S. position on digital trade discussions at the World Trade Organization. It includes a range of commitments in the catch-all category for economic security, such as addressing non-market policies of third countries, investing, screening, government procurement, and cooperation of duty and evasion and transshipment. Sorry, I said all of that say
so,
it didn't do fucking shit.
All right, so you were right. The tariffs did. The tariffs did fuck us over. I did learn something new.
Yeah. So that trade deal with the UK was much more beneficial for the UK than it was for us. It really didn't give us shit. It actually really just returned us to what we had previously, and actually like a little bit like less. That was truly, and that was about it. Okay. Tariffs can be used for something beneficial. And I think that I want to make that very, very clear before I get off the phone with you, is that tariffs can be used for something beneficial. Okay. It's just not the way that Donald Trump used the tariffs, okay? If you want to use it in order to benefit U.S. auto manufacturing, U.S. chip manufacturing, any other type of specific U.S. thing that we do manufacture in the United States, right? That can, that to help benefit American workers or the American industry, that's a great use of tariffs. But blanket tariffs on every single country as some type of weird negotiating tool or just some type of blah, 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 whatever, is not beneficial to the United States. It's not beneficial to the economy. It does not help the dollar, and it does not help American consumers. But thank you. Oh, excuse me. Thank you for saying that you were wrong. That is very, that's very rare. I do appreciate that.
Well, I'm gonna get off the phone with you. This was great. All right, bye.
All right, bye, man. Hey, that doesn't happen very often, okay? I have to give credit where credit is due. All right. That is very, very rare. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm even going to say it. W's in the chat for caller. All right. W's in the chat for caller for admitting he was wrong. I think that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. Hey. Whoa, hey, dude, usually I just get screamed at and called the N-word, okay? If I have someone admit that they were wrong at the end, I think we can handle that, okay? You know, I got a little extra time. I can keep going for a little bit. I was gonna cut off a little early, but I can keep going for a little bit. But I've been on for, oh, I forgot I did a restart. I was like, I've been on for 3 hours and we're only at, not even at 100,000 likes. I was about to say, I don't know what we're doing over here. I know I'm still under probably a restriction, so I know that's why numbers are a little low. But I was like, man, we haven't even hit 100,000 yet, and I've been on for forever. But I've still been on for almost an hour, and we haven't hit that, so I think we can still do better than that. Also, y'all, can we please try to clear this DJ Glasses gift goal? It'd be very, very beneficial and helpful. If I had some super chats to talk about in between callers and maybe cleared a gift goal every once in a while, I would really, really appreciate that. That would mean a lot to me. That would mean a lot to me. Let me see if I can get this thing started over here. And there we go. We were almost at 150K when we got the restart. That makes sense. I forgot about the restart. All right, let's take a few super chats real quick, and then we'll move on to the next caller and keep this thing going. Manic said, ask him about Trump suing America while he's president, and just getting a settlement for that, too. That's absolutely pretty fucking crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Jeff, thank you so much, Sudar, said, people here think Japan is not in Asia. Goodness gracious. My chat's getting that bad? My chat's that low? Freedom, also thank you so much for the $10 super chat, said, without answering based on character, what policy ideas did you agree and disagree with for both Kamala Harris and Trump? Without absolutely nothing was good and nothing was bad either on both sides. I really appreciate that question, and I really appreciate the super chat. That would be a definite question for a call, not exactly a question for a super chat. But no, I didn't really agree with anything that Donald Trump ran on, because nothing that Donald Trump ran on was actually beneficial, minus no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, which literally Kamala Harris ran on the same thing, and an expansion of the child tax credit, which Kamala Harris ran on, better. So I like, there's nothing there. Like, there's just generally nothing. And actually, I do have to check and see. Hold on. How's the draft going so far? Has it started yet? Hold on, what time does it start? It hasn't started yet? Oh, I got time then. Chargers pick at 22. I got time. I got time. But hopefully that answers the question a bit. We could go more into Kamala Harris and stuff later. And Jack of Fly, thank you so much for the $5. Said, by the way, because of Trump's tariffs, the EU signed the Mercosur trade deal with South America earlier this year to be less dependent on the trade with U.S. trade. That is actually a very, very good point, and one that I actually forget to bring up consistently. I actually forget to bring up that point. Every once in a while, I do it sometimes. Sometimes I'll remember to bring up, like, hey, you know, we gotta, there are actually other countries are, because I know, like, China made a deal with Canada, and then there was the Mercosur deal. Yeah, so yeah, someone said I got scared when you said draft. Someone said I got scared when you said draft. That's actually really funny. All right, again, y'all too, if you guys want to become screeners and help me screen out some of the bad callers, thank you so much, Jackafly. And you want, if you help me screen out callers, please let me know. Hit me up in the Discord or join the Discord that's in my link tree, and then let me know that you want to be a screener, or if you're already in my Discord, let me know and I'll add you in. We got to get some more people in here to try to help out. So that'd be really helpful. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. And thank you guys all for all the support. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing great. How old are you?
I am 20 years old.
Awesome. Do you still support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. All right, why is that?
Well, you see, I think Trump was really good in his first presidency when I was younger because we had a lot of illegals in our country that were taking my jobs. Since my
They
father
took our
owned land in Texas.
jobs. They took our
What?
jobs. They took our jobs. Sorry, I can't
Well,
help it
they
when
did
people
take our
say they took our
jobs, to be
jobs.
fair.
They took our jobs.
Yeah, because my father was working in a factory in his 40s. He lost his job because of an immigrant, because the company decided to fire him. You don't know what we had to struggle through to get our life back together.
Sir, if
Like, we
your
had to
job
move
gets
into an
taken away
apartment.
by an undocumented immigrant, I'm sorry, that probably wasn't your job to begin with.
Yeah, but my father was broke. He had no money. I don't know what he was doing, honestly. Like, I don't know how he survived, honestly, past 2014 to 2016. But when Trump came in, he promised to deport the illegals. He started ICE, and my father got his job back with a salary increase as soon as that happened. And I'm like,
Yeah, and then
I
angels
think this
came
guy's pretty
down and
good,
they
honestly,
rubbed his
man.
back and they, and
Well,
all
you
of
see,
those things.
thing
Yeah,
is
sir, this isn't even a
that like,
Sir, this isn't even a believable story. You know that, right?
what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? Are
This
we
isn't even a
talking?
believable story. So your
Well,
dad worked
fuck
for a
you, bitch.
company.
Fuck
So
you,
your
nigger.
dad worked for a company, right? What did your dad do? Oh, he left. He left. It wasn't even a believable story. All right.
Took our jobs.
They took our jobs.
They took our jobs. Yeah. Took our jobs. They took our jobs.
They took our jobs. They took our jobs.
Still more immigrants from.
They took our jobs. They took our jobs. Oh my goodness. Maybe I shouldn't have taken another
How long
caller.
do I have to wait? Hello?
I don't know. How long are you willing to wait? Should I put you back in the queue?
Oh. Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you just fine. How old are you?
Hi, sorry. I'm good. You? Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter still.
Awesome. How old are you?
32.
Oh, so what's your name? Which state you from?
Debbie, and I live in Seattle, but I'm in Washington, D.C. for political science.
Awesome. So Debbie from Seattle. Why do you still support Trump?
So I was homeless for 10 years in Seattle, and there are 3 major policies that he did to actually help low-income people, and one of them is the HUD, the housing, where he's requiring citizens or the people to have their citizenships in order to access to housing, because you do, in fact, got a lot of illegals taking up space in the shelters / low-income housing, which in return leave both Black and white and gay LGBTQ on the streets, all Americans.
Wow.
So that's number one.
Wow,
and
Black,
then,
white, and gay? That's crazy.
Yep, because those are supposedly the minorities that are vulnerable, right? As,
Black,
as
white,
what
and gay.
Kamala
That should be like my like
So,
mantra.
and then the other one is Social Security.
what-
He
hold
made
on.
sure that
Oh,
the credit
well,
cards, they're not mailing money checks to the shelters. I don't know if you ever heard about that, because he's making it to where, like, because a lot of people in the shelter, the staffs actually steal Social Security checks from vulnerable people. So he stopped checks from being mailed into the shelters, because I don't know if you've ever seen how the shelter looks, but there's a lot of people who are staff that you question why they're even in that position. They're homeless themselves, or they're in recovery. And these are the people that are handling mail and stealing from other people. So Trump made it to where, so he is actually helping low income people more than anyone even knows. And there was a third one, forgot what it was. Oh God, what was it? Oh yes, color blindness. Because I remember back when I was in high school, I actually felt comfortable around gays as a female, because you know that they're not going to come after you, right? Because they're gay. And I have 2 gay stepbrothers, and I every woman loved gay people. But now, because they feel like they're entitled and they're special and unique, and they're like the only one bullied, it makes me not like them because they're not special and unique. Everyone gets bullied. And as a former homeless person who's been in the bathroom with the unisex thing, where they're changing, like the co-ed, whatever you call it, you go in alone and you see a man, a transgender, on drugs in Seattle, and you're the only one in there, and you gotta wonder, God, if this person attacks me when he's on drugs, I can't defend myself because you got this transgender in the bathroom on drugs, and I'm the only one in there. He's bigger than me, but he has the right to be in there because he's a transgender, even though he's on drugs. So it puts women in a vulnerable position.
Yeah, so pretty much everything you've just said is bullshit. I don't even really know where to start, to be completely fucking honest with you.
Did you look it up? Did you look it up, or are you going to spread misinformation? You don't
How
like
can I look
me?
up
Look
your
it up. You actually
anecdotal-
implemented those rules,
Ma'am.
and you're talking about low income. I thought liberals actually supported low income, which I am, and you're sitting there criticizing me, acting like that's not going to happen. So it makes you seem like who are you? Who do you stand for?
I was trying to explain. If you would not cut me off, I'd already be halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So first of all, undocumented immigrants don't qualify for any type of housing, right? Especially any type of low income housing. So no, it's not helping poor people or black people or gay people, like you said, because they don't qualify for it, right? And as far as the homeless shelters that you were talking about, yes, they did see an increase. I'm still talking. I didn't cut you off at all. I didn't cut you off even a little bit. I let you continue off with all of your lunacy for like so fucking long. So now
I'm not calling you a lunatic. So why should I respect you when you're calling me names?
I didn't ask you to respect me. I asked you to be quiet.
I gave you respect, so it's not about asking. It's about mutual respect. I talk to you separately. I'm not calling you names. I'm not calling you a lunatic. I'm not calling you any
Well,
names.
I wasn't calling you a lunatic.
How do you expect me to,
I was
why
saying
should I
what
not
you
cut
were.
you
I
off
was
when
saying
you're
what you were
disrespecting me and
saying
calling me
was lunacy. But now you're kind of acting like a lunatic. So I will call you one now.
I'm not
okay.
acting like
But
it.
you said
wanting
like
to
3
see it like
points,
that,
and
so
I
you don't
do
act
need
like a
time.
lunatic.
And I do need time to respond to
calling
the
me
things
a
that you're
lunatic.
saying. Okay. I do need time to respond to the things that you're saying. So now I'm gonna mute you so I can respond to them. Thanks. Okay. All right. Wow. First of all, undocumented immigrants don't qualify for housing, whether that's Section 8 housing or any other type of low-income housing. They don't qualify. So him deporting people doesn't help any of that. While there was an increase in seeing migrants in things like homeless shelters, the increase was about a 60% increase when it came to asylum seekers that were entering, homeless shelters. And those people can't get deported either. So Donald Trump going out there and, deporting undocumented immigrants, those people are legally here, so that has nothing to do with anything. Second of all, yes, I would think it would be scary if you were just in a bathroom with somebody that was on drugs. I completely agree. If I was in the bathroom with somebody that was on drugs, I'd also be scared. But you're making it sound like for some reason that if somebody's drugged up and trying to commit an assault on someone, that for some reason Donald Trump's rules on transgender people are somehow going to stop that, right? You're actually a lot more likely to get sexually assaulted by a non-transgender person who's on drugs who just walks into the bathroom. Because I don't understand why people think that, like that sign is stopping anyone. Like, I'll give you an example. There was like a old bar I used to go to, right? And on the door, it would say, "This is not," in little tiny writing. And then in giant writing, they would say the men's restroom. It would say men's restroom. And then in little tiny lettering below it, it would say it would say like, oh, that this is actually like, the women's restroom. And so it's all you'd see was the giant sign that said men's restroom, not reading the little tiny writing. And people would just walk in. They actually had to take it down because it actually did start causing some problems. Because it was just constantly all the time people walking into like the wrong restroom, women and men. And people were starting to have like an actual real problem with that. So, but it happened all the time. It was actually like crazy. And it caught me before. Okay. And it caught me before, right? So, the sign doesn't stop you. You can just walk in. And if somebody's trying to do nefarious business to somebody, they're going to walk in like to just do whatever like harm they want to do. That has nothing to do with being transgender people. When I hear people say that is that you think that if you were ever left in another restroom that you were just going to do like sexual assault stuff. But I guarantee you, ma'am, that you are much more likely to be assaulted by a straight man that just walks into a woman's restroom to do a nefarious act than a transgender person that just happens to go in there that wants to change or take a shit. Okay. So I don't really know what you're talking about. And this really just seems like made up, like, I don't know, fake rage.
Do you support low income and vulnerable people?
Yeah, I do. But again, I already explained
Then
to you
why
how the
would
things
you
that you're
say
just talking
something?
about
Why
have
would
nothing
you
to do
say
with
that
it.
the other stuff I said was wrong? Why would you say that? Like, why would you go against that? If you truly supported low income people, you'd be like, God, if that really happens, I should look
But
into
it
that. But you
doesn't,
don't
and I
want to
just put
because
the
how it is
source.
when you're young is you don't change your ideology. You're stuck the way you are. Like kind of like how people are stuck with Trump doing certain. No matter what he does, if he blows up the whole world, people are going to support him no matter what because of certain things that they want, right? Same with the liberals. It doesn't matter what anyone says. It doesn't matter if anyone's right. You're still gonna criticize somebody even though they say, hey, this stuff is happening. But because you really don't support low income, it's something else. Maybe you identify as gay, or I don't know what you identify as, or why you like voting for Democrat. But that's kind of like the same it is. So you don't support low income. You don't support vulnerable groups. So
Yes,
it's
I do,
something else,
ma'am. But just
if
because
you
I
did, you would
support,
not,
ma'am, stop. You're
you
just
would not,
repeating
you
yourself
wouldn't
now. You're
be in
just repeating
disbelief.
yourself now. You're just repeating yourself now. Please stop. Okay. I
Okay,
do
why
support
do you
low
support
income people.
Biden or the Democrats? Just out of curiosity, why do you support
Please.
Democrats?
God, do you ever breathe?
I did for 4 minutes when you were talking.
Okay, cool. It's not that I don't support low income people. It's that the thing that you just said isn't true. Okay. And it's up on the screen so everybody can read it. That's all I was trying to say.
Okay, I don't. But the behavior you acted just said that you didn't. Kind of like if I were to say, or if you were to support smokers, and you'd be like, God, you're just be cruel. Like that doesn't
Speaking of
happen,
that,
or something. It's just your
oh my
attitude
God,
about
I
it.
heard
Just
about the
says that you didn't
coolest
support
law
smoke.
that the UK just passed. Oh my God, I heard about the coolest law.
Oh, you mean
UK
Russia, like with the shared value visa? Yeah, that's not UK, but it is
No,
Europe.
I'm talking
And what do
about
you think
one
about
that the
that, by the way? Like,
UK passed.
what do you think about that? The liberals are pushing conservatives so hard that they want to apply for the shared value visas, and then when Russia gets all the skilled work.
Okay, so like I was saying, I heard about a really cool law that got passed in the UK, and it's where they actually made it. If you were born after 2009, then they just made smoking just illegal. Isn't that wild? They made just like smoking illegal. So like you can't buy cigarettes if you were born after 2009. Like ever. And then that just goes on forever. Oh, I do love that. Dude, as somebody who smoked for 15 years of my fucking life, I really wish it would have just like a lot harder that I couldn't have ever started. Okay? I really do. And I wholly support that. I think it's great. They're essentially you're essentially just making it where like future generations don't have the ability to just buy cigarettes. Okay? Like I just think that's absolutely wild. Like I think it's absolutely wild. I think it's absolutely great. I quit smoking cigarettes like fucking like 3 years ago, and I've been completely off of nicotine for like 15 months now. I quit last January. So yeah, I just think that that's like super awesome. That I wish we would do something like that, but big tobacco would just be all up in our, and it doesn't take anything away from people that still smoke, right? So it's not like it's taking away from people that still smoke. It's just stopping future generations from being able to do it. So anyone like they can't smoke right now, can't pick it up in the future. And I think that's kind of cool. Oh, you still there?
Yeah. It just went from like all the smoking, so I don't know.
Yeah, what are you smoking?
I don't smoke anything. I never smoke.
You sure about that?
Yep.
You sure about that?
I tried once and
sure
never
about that?
again. I had 3 trips at once, and I went to the weed store, and I'm like, what is this? I've had 3 trips. This is hell. And they're like, God, I wish I had that. And anyways, I never did that. I don't
Maybe
see
you
how
should.
people like that. It was
Maybe
miserable.
you should start. It seems like you need to calm down a bit, and that's coming from me.
Not
Okay,
actually.
that's coming
I
from
am
me.
pretty calm. I'm probably the most calmest. I haven't called you names at all. Like
Well, I
I
do
still haven't
appreciate
called you
that.
names.
I do appreciate
Um,
that, but
I let you talk a long time, just like you let me talk a long time. I don't need to smoke anything. I'm smoking my cat's fur. That's pretty much it. That's all the
Tim, I
all
almost
the
made a
sniffing I
comment.
need.
I almost made a comment, and I'm so happy I didn't.
Who do
Okay.
you identify as? Are you straight? Are you why do you
Sorry, I
support
just almost made a comment,
Biden?
and it was so rude. She did nothing to deserve that comment, and I couldn't help it.
Just
I'm
curious,
happy
why do you support the Democrats? Like, why do you not support Trump, or why do you support Democrats? What makes the Democrats good to you? What did they do for you?
Well, I'm not a Democrat, and I'm not saying I won't go back at some point, but I'm not a Democrat. Haven't been one in a really long time. Okay, but I do support leftist policies because I feel that leftist policies actually do at least attempt to help people. The Democrats
That they
as a
do have a
whole,
good
as an
policy, but
organization, the
yeah.
Democrats as an organization do have a lot of push America forward to try to help people to do stuff like that, and that's really what I support. Right? I support good people that are doing good policies.
If you were president and we now live in a generation where all the stores are closing, and it's not just Republican states, it's Seattle, it's everywhere. Stores are closing one by one. A lot of things are moving to AI. So if you're a president, and on top of that, we got a whole influx of illegals just pouring into the border. So for one, how does that help the Black community, Americans in general? And what would you do? What would be your idea to help people in the U.S. at the same time all the stuff is going to AI, jobs are closing? How can there be enough jobs every time a store closes down? Or a lot of tech people are getting laid off too. It's not just Black people, white people, people from India, all over. Thousands and thousands of jobs being lost because of AI. They cannot even get a job in minor roles anymore because everything is AI. So what do you do when you got all these illegals coming in and you got all these jobs just vanishing?
Yeah, so AI is a problem, and I'm not saying I have the whole fix to the AI boom and what it's going to do to the United States. I'm not even going to pretend like I have a whole thing to that. But I think that the U.S. market and the U.S. jobs are very resilient, right? There's tons of things that have come to advance, and those things that have advanced have taken away jobs, and then we've created jobs in other scenarios and other circumstances. I think that we are a long way from AI just completely taking over, even though they are having an effect, especially on like software developers and other people that are young and out of college. But I think that we're going to find a way to make to just be resilient within that market. But I don't have the whole answer right now. I think that we just need to be really careful with AI. I think that Donald Trump, loosening regulations when it comes to AI is not smart. I think we need to be careful about how we implement and how we allow AI to come into our society. Because it can be helpful. As far as Black jobs, I don't think that AI is affecting Black jobs any more or less than it's affecting anybody else's jobs in the United States. I think that as far as building up the Black community, I think that we need to continue to put in programs until there's some type of equity within this country.
Oh,
right?
I'm in DC. It's like 50% Black. There's a lot of Black people with good jobs, a lot of nice looking, and it's not just here, it's Texas, and I've seen a lot. I just don't understand what more needs to be done. I've seen so many white people on the streets just as much, and honestly, it's just to the point where if you actually see, anyone can be poor. You go into Washington, D.C., major Black community, and hardly anyone is on the streets. I know that Trump did the whole tent sweep thing. I don't know where everyone went, because in Seattle, if you do that, they'll just pop up somewhere else. So Washington, D.C., I don't know where everyone is at, but I do see a lot of Black community, and a lot of Black community have good jobs. They're in really good jobs, and you got Black poor people. So it's really like, I don't understand what more you can focus on that when it seems to be they seem
Ma'am,
to
just
be
because you
doing
can
pretty okay.
see black people with jobs, good jobs, doesn't mean that inequality doesn't exist. That's a crazy statement, right? Like that's absolutely
Yeah, it
nuts.
does to white people now.
That's like saying that because women have there's women with good jobs, that misogyny doesn't exist in the United States. That's a crazy thing to say. All right, we still see that. Black people and women in this country get paid less than their counterparts. They are less likely to be hired for specific jobs, especially jobs with high CEO jobs or things like that. But all the way across the board, they're less likely to get promoted. They're less likely to be in middle management, right? So there's tons and tons and tons of room for growth with inequality. We're nowhere near where we actually should be when it comes to promoting black people and women in this country. If I was president, what would I do? I don't know. I think that's a really complex issue, and I don't think it's the smartest. I think they just say, oh, there's not some just like, oh, we're gonna do this one thing, right, and that's gonna fix everything. I think there's tons of things to do, and I think that all of those things need to be evaluated on an individual basis, and so we need to stop trying to fix very, very complicated issues with very, very simple answers, right? I think that's the one thing that Donald Trump convinced a lot of people that could happen, right? Is that they convinced a lot of people that, oh, we just do this, right? And this one thing fixes everything. And that's just not the way it works. So, but anyways, I'm going to let you go because I don't have enough time to listen to the next question, however long that's going to be. But have a good one, okay?
So like, what? Sorry.
I'm
So
dropping
like,
you. So,
a
bye-bye.
lot of. Okay.
All right. Not that I had a huge problem with her, but the next question was going to be 27 minutes, and I just did not have the time for all of that. Hello, Kitty. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Scott, thank you so much for the $4. Said, remember to read slower. The callers are uneducated. Robs, thank you so much for the $10. Said, so this woman wants your support because she's homeless, but she's also one of the rudest people I've ever heard on the show. Yeah, I don't know. I guess she used to be homeless. I don't know. She's taking a vacation to DC, so she ain't that motherfucking homeless. And she got time to be on my live, so she ain't that motherfucking homeless. So I don't know what to tell you. Freedom also thanks for the thumbs up. Robs, thank you for the $2 for the Skynet. Cool. Well, I will be back on tomorrow. Guys, I'm trying to figure out my time here. I can't keep going on at 7 Central. I went on at 4 today. I went on at 5 earlier this week, and numbers seem to be like really, really low. So I'm trying to figure out when the fuck I'm going to be live. I have to keep changing the time there. So just stay with me, join the Discord, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I'll be on and stuff. Cause yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, Jets picked David Bailey, so that's the next person that will now suck in the NFL because they can't draft worth of shit. See you tomorrow. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a good one. Okay, bye.